newfound friend Guar, the Turtle, Zephyr's house first year student. And as you made your way magically through, and I say magically because you rose through, up in the air through the clouds, and then you were in a completely different plane as far as you understand. When you were coming down, you got to get a glimpse of not only the Obius Institute that's in the center of this massive coastal area, but got a sense of the biomes that unnaturally live right next to each other, which you deduce also is the different houses that Obius offers, that are vastly different for each one that you have. It offers very different things. As you all came down, the skyship landed. You had funneled your way through the main chamber of Obius Institute, which is part of Candlekeep Library. There, you were introduced to the houses, the mascot of the houses, as well as the two deans that share opposing values. For life, there's death. For mathematics, there's passion. For art, there's perfection. Each house has their diverse sort of clashing ideologies that they share, and sort of have the opinion that the more information that you have at your disposal, the better. There's no secrets or hiding things. It's just you finding them out. We're going to give you all the information. It's up to you to decide what you do with it. So at the end of that, what happened was I cut it off for once everybody got at their house introduced, and each house that was introduced, if you remember, your token vibrated in your hand, sort of activating. We ended it there because this is not just session 2, but it's a different chapter. I talked a lot in that first session, so there's still a lot more to describe and sort of introduce you guys to, but we're going to start the process of, giving you guys a little bit more control over where things go. So,
where are our dorm rooms, Dio?
What's that?
Where are our dorm rooms, Dio?
Oh, you want to know where your dorm rooms are, huh?
Yeah.
Let me turn this music down a little bit. It's a little aggressive. Okay. Before we start there, though, as Saren has finished introducing all the houses, you watch as Dean start to gather up groups of students, start calling names. Some of the more mature leaders of the, some of the 4th, 5th years, more experienced students are also helping out. You hear from behind you, maybe about 50 feet away, you hear a familiar voice of Guar, sort of seeing a couple of you grouped together, yelling in the distance, trying to get your attention. And as he yells, he's like jumping up and down through people, trying to weave through. And he comes up and he goes, "Hey guys, I found this this dude. Yeah, you guys took off. You're so excited or whatever. But like, there was this guy here. We got to talking for a little bit." And Sir Godfrey, if you want to introduce your character.
All right.
I still have my illusionary scroll out. I'm going to write down stuff.
What do they see?
What do they see? As in Sir Godfrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does he look like?
Okay. So you guys see Sir Godfrey standing. He's a pale-skinned human with red eyes, long, luscious blonde hair. He has leather padded clothing with metal gauntlets and metal boots, and on his back he has a greatsword. And he's younger, but not too young. He's like a young adult, so he's like in his mid-20s probably. And you can see scars on him, and he looks a bit tattered. Go for it.
Oh, I was sorry. Finish your description. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, that's it. That's all the description.
Okay.
I was just saying because we have a new player. Should we go ahead and run through all of our character descriptions real quick, so just as a sense of what everyone looks like?
Yeah, of course, if you'd love to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll go first. Helmut stands around 6'4", I think is what I said.
About.
But he's built like Eddie Hall, just layers of massive things of muscle. He is covered in like beaten like infernal plate that looks like he's done like field repairs. You could see metal that's either been put together with leather, or it's just been like soldered on and beaten into place. His arms are like this like deep wine red and are covered in scars, but amidst the scars, physically carved into his flesh is infernal script. His head, he is always wearing his helmet. You can only see like red eyes and these big horns, along with like an almost I guess like Greek Spartan crest of hair of plume that goes along his helmet. On his back, he carries this huge slab of beaten metal that appears to be some kind of shield. However, the only almost immaculately clean thing compared to the rest of his armor is his flail that sits on his hip.
Oh, Dio's setting up.
All right, he's gone.
I guess we can keep going though. Just the
let's keep going.
descriptions. Who's next?
I guess it shall be me.
Yes.
So Zalzin, he looks to be completely made of metal. He has green eyes that flash every now and then when it seems like he's interested in something. Every time he speaks, you see where a mouth would be, you see a green hue light up and flash for every word he says. He stands about 8 feet tall, and he always seems to be watching everybody around him. And he's currently writing in a script that no one could read. He seems to be made out of all this black metal, and it seems like unrusted. It seems ancient, however.
Mm. Dalzin?
Yes.
All right. I guess I'll go next. Yeah, but let me get into the new voice. Oh, there again. Then you bring it down to here. Okay. Gentile is not too much. Simply a more like man closer to his 26 years of age. Wears a big cloak, like almost like a bardic cloak on himself, and then under that you can see almost like a monk robe that has, pretty sure sleeveless. I don't know. I can't really look at this that well. And of course, on top of Chronicle hat, but the most distinguishing feature of him is these weird, sickly green, almost lightning-like marks that spread across from his hands to his shoulders. Currently, and also on him carries an explorer's pack, very old sword, and a lute that looks even older than him. That looks like it's being held together by hopes and dreams. I think that's
all right.
All right. Well, my name is Lucio. I'm also a bard. I have a lute that is not looked fucked up. It's beautiful. It matches my outfit as well. Everything is beautiful. I've got a nice gold trim robe and hella jewelry. I've got drip out the wazoo. That's pretty much all you need to know about me. I like art as well. I'm pretty good at playing my lute. I've got some like poems and stories that I write. Oh, and also I'm a satyr. I don't know if I mentioned that.
I don't know if I mentioned either, but I am a human.
Zalzin's gonna look at this newcomer, say, "Ah, interesting. The turtle one has brought someone new. What is your designation?" And he just leans in.
Sir Godfrey is going to reply with confusion. Designation? Do you mean name?
I suppose so, yes.
Well, my name is Sir Godfrey, the Blade of the Morn.
Yeah.
Tenok. Not Tenok, Jesus. Oh god. Flash.
Tenok, he's got
Fucking
Whoa.
Helmrick. They've got similar aesthetics. I
Yeah.
think, to be honest, I think Helmrick's a more refined Tenok. But Helmrick kind of pushes himself to the forefront. How tall is your character?
He's probably 6'2", 6'3".
Right. So he's kind of about eye level with you. And he kind of stares at your play. What condition is your armor in? Like, how are you looking?
It's not good. He has on like he was once a knight, so he has on the remnants of his knightly wear, which would be the gauntlets and his boots. But everything else is just leather and it's just put together in that way. So it doesn't even. It looks like he's just holding on to what was once good and kind of just tying it into what he could find now.
He kind of looks at your armor, almost like inspecting you. He kind of circles around you. Your armor is well used. This is good. He keeps like looking at you and he goes, "You are a warrior?"
I was a warrior.
What made you fail?
I failed.
He kind of takes a moment and nods. And he goes, "It is good to see one, even if they are mortal. There are too many milklings and weepers here. But it
Zal's
is
gonna
good."
chime in, and he's gonna be like, "Yes, and it appears that all your equipment seem badly damaged. Clearly, it needs maintenance."
Roads are unkind, but it is good to see something well used.
If you
Around
need
here.
repairs, I can help.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm fine with what I have now.
What house are you? Have you been chosen? Like us?
Yes. Actually, I have. Godfrey's gonna search for a piece of paper for the information on it.
I think where
my
we're
house-
at, it would. Oh,
What's up?
our houses weren't told to us. When the house was shown, I guess when the deans of the house came up, our artifact like freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
We were never given like a piece of paper that told us.
Oh, okay. So how'd you guys find out the name?
It explained all of them. We just finished, so we're I think still in the like crowd of people. The orientation.
Okay. Well, then he's not gonna look for a piece of paper, and he's just gonna recall from memory. I believe I'm in House Basilit, I think it was. Baselt.
Oh,
So
Dilton, aren't you also in the house of Basilit?
He looks over. I believe so, yes.
Although I have a question for you, Sir Godfrey, is that right?
That's correct.
Besides you two being a failure, as in your own words, I can't notice but how pale your skin is, like you've never seen the sun in decades.
You do look interesting for a human.
Yes, it's a affliction, vampirism.
You see him start writing more in his
Oh.
This is the key marker to my failures.
Helmut kind of gives a laugh and goes, "One of the only things that I do not see in the hells. Truly, you may be lost, but you appear to have proven yourself." And he looks towards is it Gog? War.
Gog.
Brewer, once again, you prove yourself.
He's kind of looking around, still like taking in everything. Yeah, what's up? Yeah.
You prove yourself with this one.
You
I just think
brought
it's
us a
cool that
gem.
I can like talk to people that would normally like totally, be scary. But again, like I met you, then I saw him.
His,
Totally cool.
his eyes narrow. Do you not fear me?
Now,
Zalza looks at you and he goes, "Do you have an intimidating presence?"
Only madmen do not fear me.
I mean, I thought we
Fear
were
you
cool.
in like a sad, soulful kind of way.
Fear not, Helmrich. I do not fear you. I merely find you fascinating, interesting.
Anyways, guys, I gotta take off. I'm gonna go do my thing. But I just, seems like we got a little thing going on here. I thought it was cool.
Guard,
I
you
I
did
will
great.
seek you for your
Good talk to you.
bruise.
I extend a handshake.
Yeah, he grabs it. Y'all have fun. Good meeting y'all.
Good meeting you too. Talk to you
And then
soon.
he takes off towards one of the groups heading to Zephyr's house.
I guess Helmrich will start to head out to I have the names. I'm still trying to learn the names of the houses.
I
Throm.
also got mine written down.
Okay.
I'm gonna start heading up to my house. Throm, I believe.
Okay.
Throm's the arts. I think you're the.
I follows the arts. I follows in the same one as Donnie.
No, you guys are house
We're
Thessaquil. You guys are in the
INS,
like poetry.
Oh, okay.
Zalza's gonna look at Helmrich and be like, "Helmrich, before you leave, we should talk more later. I want to hear about the Blood Wars and what trivial nonsense goes down."
It is not trivial nonsense. It was my life.
I
Do
would
not
l-
dare speak ill of what I have done.
I mean not to offend. It's just that war has been happening for a very long time. I myself have not been in the Hells, or perhaps I have. My memory is very cloudy.
Were it not for us, you would be demon shit.
I would love to be present for that conversation as well. I could just
think
really
it'd be
use
a
like a
great
great
conversation. I
story
think it'd
for
be a
some
great
inspiration.
Well, the demons are massive in number. I'm sure I would manage.
Whoa. That one's cocky.
How much
Massive,
before he
but
leaves,
also lesser in their status.
looks at Godfrey, and he goes, "You, Dampier, we must spar. I must see your metal."
I only
Why
fight
didn't-
for life and death. I don't spar.
Then you have no training? No
I have-
dedication to your craft?
I am only dedicated to my mission. My training is sufficient in the martial arts.
Then there should be no spar, for I would crush you and rip you out of your plates.
Maybe.
And Helmark walks out.
Very interesting. And then his house is gonna start walking towards Basalt. And he's gonna look back at Godfrey and be like, "You and me, we are in the same classification together. Shall we go?"
Yeah, I guess I'll accompany you.
I will allow you to follow me.
All right, Godfrey will begin to follow.
All right. So we have Helmrich the Seventh heading towards Throm campus. We've got Zalzin and Sir Godfrey heading towards Basalt, and then we have Jin and Lucio heading towards Aetherwright. So
Correct.
let's turn the
Why
tables a little
didn't
bit.
he ask me to spar?
Why did you ask me to spar?
What's your strength, Donnie?
Oh god, hold on.
Oh
Hey.
god, hold on.
10.
Specifically. So yeah, his strength is double yours, and his athletics is also over double yours.
My
don't know
strength
what-
is my intelligence.
Yeah,
You say that as being fucking pummeled.
What's the biggest strength in friendship? What did you just say?
No, literally, my strength is intelligence.
We could have like
Literally.
a pan flute spar, like a musical sparring of sorts.
At least until I run out of charges in my my armor of magical strength.
Perhaps
I think,
like a rap battle.
I think Helmeric would literally exhaust your armor. I think that would be a cool thing to see. Like you like testing like your mechanical and then
Stop it.
Helmeric literally just outlasting the armor.
Unhand me.
Alright.
Okay.
We're all going to our class.
Helmeric.
Yeah.
So we're going to zoom in on you for a second. You follow the tug of your token and walk through massive arched walkways that are exiting the biblioplex. As you're walking out, you look to your right and you see again at the very center, the very beginning entrance of the biblioplex, the massive jagged rectangular stones that are floating in the air forming that archway. You see beyond the floating lights from the airships still docked, now illuminating much more now that the sun is starting to come over the mountains. You see the trees that are lining the pathway, the sun setting, the crisp autumn air sort of throwing leaves in the pathway in front of you. You begin to make your way across the bridge that leads to Throm campus. The bridge is made of glass that sort of shifts as you make your way to what appears to be an open courtyard that is surrounded by jagged terrain. The air here is noticeably hotter. You see steam rising from cracked stones. You smell gusts of sulfur. To some students around you, you notice that it's a little bit of a shock to them. You're right at home with most of the terrain and the sulfur and things like that. This is part of you. And as you enter the campus, you see veins of what look to be magma that are carving through stone spires, the stone gray cliffs climbing to the skies that end in this kind of deep crimson red. You hear elemental waves crashing against mountainsides. And in the valleys between this massive grouping of mountains, you can see massive, towering, almost Gothic cathedral buildings, like town-sized obsidian towers wrapped in elemental energy that hum with arcane. Welcome to House Throm, where here power is forged, expressed, and unleashed. Pain here is a medium. Passion is a discipline. The first tower that you're going to come to is called Cohort Hall. It's an angular tower wrapped in constantly shifting strands of elemental energy. You see winds spiraling into fire, fire condensing into stone, stone bursting into water, and then only to begin the process all over again. As you ascend the steps following the huddles of students doing the same, you step onto the main pathway and you find yourself inside an enormous glass-domed observation room. You see mages sketching the horizon in lava ink. You see elemental constructs drifting through the air like hummingbirds. You see someone coming towards you with your background. Movement, especially those coming towards you, is immediately seen. You see a tall man with silver streaked hair, sort of messy, eyes that are really dark and almost pushed inward. And you see a baton made of crackling thunderbolt energy in his hands. And he looks at you and goes, "You got the shoulders of a hammer-swinging kid. Can you conduct the chaos?" And as he looks at the students that are already kind of gathering and listening, he repeats back to you, he goes, "Fighting is a dance. You learn to control your breathing." And he sort of looks around the room. Fight adrenaline dumps that will kill you. Control the time and space that you have. For you not, that will kill you. Points to you. What is your name, son?
I am Helmrich of the Seventh, Hound of Father, Ram of the Legions.
I like the confidence. Come dance with me. Where he is standing, on stage, because he's on a raised dais, you see 3 rings that don't overlap, but touch to create this space just for one person in the center. And he sort of gestures for you to stand in that space.
Helmrich nods, and as he approaches, he says, "You understand the rhythm of battle, the percussion of wounds made manifest, of lives and travesties ended." And he steps on. "I will join this music."
He sits with a almost fatherly, prideful smile and looks out and says, Constitution, while very important, intelligence, being able to understand your opponent, being able to understand the space around you, that is what allows you to leave the room the last one alive. You see fire, wind, stone, no shortage here. And if you can learn to manipulate it in this dangerous terrain, you've got it everywhere else you can find it. And you watch as the professor snaps his fingers and a spark lands in the center of the ring that is in front of you. And it sets ablaze like a grease fire. And at first, it seems out of control, and then sort of almost consciously starts to gathering like a lava lamp and starts to twist and sort of fold in and over itself, creating this amoebic shape. And there's a narrow point that sort of bends towards you, almost like it's looking at you. And the professor goes, "A sword does no good here. You need to be able to navigate this without being burned." And the professor looks at you, Helmrich, and says, sort of expectingly, "Tell it your story, but without words. No weapons." And at that moment, the fire sort of rears back, and your senses tell you it's basically arming itself against you.
All right. Helmrich gets his shield and kind of like puts it on the ground, almost like trying to like dig it as far as he can. And he just gets behind it and he starts moving towards it in just like a rhythmic march.
Okay. The fire sort of matches that rhythm. But it's not more responsive than that.
Doesn't the fire know he's a tiefling? He has fire resistance! Get out of there, fire!
Get out of there! Alright. I think.
Cast a water spell. Come on.
So he wants, like, for Helmrich to tell his story through fighting without hurting it, or without hurting himself, with no weapons.
If that's how you interpret it.
Okay. Can I roll athletics?
What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna try and throw myself at it, but come as close as I can to missing it. Like, just narrowly, like, freight train running at it, to only just barely dodge it.
Okay. Are you trying to...
He's like
Are you trying to juke it, or...
I'm not, but I think the idea is that Helmrich's trying to impart that his entire life has been narrow misses. And that just what he's fighting is always this freight train. And that he is also a freight train.
Okay, make an acrobatics check.
Oh, okay.
Can I give him guidance?
That's a 5.
Oh no!
5. as you go to begin this display, it sees through, and it sees it as thin, and it swipes at you. What is your AC?
20.
Ooh, 22. And hits you for 3 psychic damage.
It takes 3 psychic damage as well.
Interesting. There's
Oh,
a
it takes
moment
3
where...
necrotic damage. I'm sorry.
Is it... Okay, hold on, let me check.
So I have an ability called a Blading Seal, I think. Is it a Blading Seal? One of my... Or Punishment. If he hits me, I deal that damage back. I do believe it's necrotic damage. But let me pull it up real quick just to be safe. But good.
Okay. So, as you both connect, and there's a sort of a mutual withdrawing from each other, the professor looks at you and goes, "No. Guide it. Show it. Manipulate it to do what you want. Without weaponry." And he steps back, watching.
Okay. He's gonna try and touch it.
Okay. Tell me
So
how
he
you...
kind of stands and he feels that connection. He doesn't make any like outward expression that he was hurt, but he kind of turns towards it, and he just like starts to move, not like super aggressively. He's moving as peacefully as Helmut can, being what he is, and he kind of pushes a hand towards it.
Okay. What's the intention here?
Helmut is trying to be able to grab it so he can manipulate it, like physically.
Okay. There's a moment where you've extended your hand and wait. And the professor looks at you, and the fire, which would burn most, extends what looks to be some sort of limb towards you and connects.
What does it feel like?
It's not natural for sure, you know that. There is a tingling sensation.
Okay. So he kind of takes it, and is it like the consistency of like putty or something? He's trying to like manipulate it with his hands at first, kind of. Like,
No. It's you're putting your hand through a field, essentially. It's fire, but there's a tingling to it.
He kind of like cocks his head at it, and he can't like grab a hold of it because it's just fire, right?
Correct. You can connect with it.
Okay. Okay, so there's like a mental connection almost.
No, I'm just saying, like, physically, like, you feel the electricity, there's a connection to it. You're
Okay.
both sort of exchanging that current.
Okay.
You don't know if it's mental or not.
All right. Helmrich is going to try and will it into a shape of like a weapon.
Okay. How do you want to persuade it?
He's just kind of like mentally, he's not trying to like grab it, like he understands he can't hold it, but he's trying to like picture a weapon in his hand.
Okay. So you picture a weapon in your hand. What does it look like?
It's a hammer, but it's broken beyond repair. Its shaft is bent. The edges are cracked and almost falling apart. It's how I think Helmrich would see himself as a weapon. This broken and discarded thing.
Okay. Make an insight check for me.
Ooh. What is that? Wisdom? Okay, sweet. I have +4.
Yeah, I throw guidance
17.
from across the campus.
I sense that my friends need me.
That's easy.
I got 17.
Okay. With this strange connection, because it's not words, it's more like being pushed emotions and thoughts. You get the sense that the creature understands what you're trying to do, but it's almost... It gets it, but like... It's not going to do it willingly for you. You're going to have to earn this. Whatever your motivation is and whatever tactic you use is up to you.
Can Helmut just try, like, physically grab it?
I mean, you're a hold of it right now.
Alright. Helmut is going to physically try to grapple it. Like, he's not being gentle about this anymore. He's trying to wrangle it.
Okay. Yeah, make an athletics check.
Oh boy.
He's like, "Come here, boy."
That wasn't great. That's a 14.
You rolled a 2, didn't you?
14.
I rolled
Okay.
a 3.
I was close. I knew it was one
You
of
have a
the
plus 11 to your fucking...
I have a plus. Helmut is unstoppable.
You have a hold of this thing. It's not going anywhere without your say-so. At least for the time.
Alright. Helmut is going to try and almost physically shove it into shape. Like as if he's trying to physically push the fire into something.
Okay. Make an intimidation for me to assert dominance over this creature.
13.
Okay. That's exactly what you needed.
Whoa.
As you grab onto this, there's not a release, but a relaxation in the connection that you have with this creature. And as you move your fist, it follows. And then you watch as the flames sort of dissipate back onto the stage. And the professor goes, "Now that's sex, my friends." Next ring. You watch as the ring to your right, sand and dust from the cracks of the stone floor begin to lift up and swirl towards the ceiling as this sort of gust starts chipping away at loose parts of the stone floor. Speak your stance through rhythm that matters. Show your will. Can you shape the tempo of the wind?
I think Helmrich isn't going to... I think he's going to get into a fighting stance. Almost like fisticuffs, but he's going to take it more like shadow boxing. Like, where the wind blows, he takes that as like an actual blow, and he like moves out of the way to shadow like an uppercut.
Okay, make another insight
Yep.
check on this creature.
12.
Okay. Learning from the previous one, you take your stance and you're looking for that moment. and you time it wrong. And as the wind hits you right in the center of your chest, you lose balance and fall to the ground. No damage, just the purpose was embarrassment. And the professor kind of clicks his teeth and goes, and the tornado goes away. From behind you, the third ring, you hear the sort of quaking as from the floor, one of the loose stones lifts up, and the professor gestures towards the stone, and it begins to hum. This one doesn't follow. It remembers and looks out at the crowd. Teach it something worth keeping. What do you do?
God damn again.
I miss him too.
This cares.
Helmut looks at the rock, and he kind of cracks his head, or cracks his neck, and he goes, I am the Ram, the Lion Breaker. I am unstoppable and unyielding. And he starts to move forward towards the rock. Stop me if you can, for I will show you your betters.
Make a persuasion check to speak directly to this stone.
Ooh. 17.
17. The stone slowly gravitates and locks in with your center mass and stays right there.
He's gonna keep moving as if it's not there and push his way through.
Make a strength check for me.
Can it be athletics?
Yeah, sure. I'll let that.
That is a 27, good sir.
If you'll allow me, Helmrich, as you start pushing forward, because of the not just sheer force that is available for you, but the determination through will, the rock is confident in its decision to be subservient and then drops. And you look over and you see the proud sort of smirk from the professor as he once again looks out at the crowd. This isn't about raw power. It's about turning fury into focus. And you listen as the crowd is sort of gestured to applause for you. And the professor comes over and kind of slaps you on your shoulder and goes, I'm proud. There's things that we need to work on, and we know about that. You don't look like you shy away from a challenge. I look forward to working with you later. And he walks off stage, answering a collection of students' questions that are immediately thrown at his direction.
Did you already say his name? I don't know if I wrote it down.
He did not say his name.
Helmrich stops and goes, are you my teacher here?
Depending on your schedule, perhaps. But no matter where I am or what you're scheduled, there's always things we can learn from each other.
What is your name?
Before he gives you his name, Zalzin and Godfrey. As you both continue to your campuses, you are in the northwest of central Obius. Here the terrain shifts dramatically. There's towering mesas that jut from the earth like ancient teeth. You see sheared cliffs descending into a massive chasm that's veiled mostly in fog. You see glowing runes pulsing faintly along crumbled stone bridges. You have arrived at Basilet House, the college most known for archaeomancy. Here, history is not studied. It is summoned. It is worn. It is questioned. It is feared. Stone statues whisper. You see spirits peer from cracked walls and ruins. Ruins half dug, half discovered are everywhere. The past always seems to be watching. There's a haunting chime that echoes as you step across Effigy Row. Effigy Row is the main bridge into the campus. You see carved visages follow your every movement. Not magic, masterful artistry. And above you, a familiar prismatic shimmer moves through the clouds. This kind of faint celestial aura that seems to draw Basilet's lingering dead. This house doesn't teach you history. It drags it from the ground and asks it what it owes you. This house also doesn't announce itself. It doesn't shimmer, it doesn't spin, it doesn't spiral. It's not fancy in that way. It's not show-off-ish. It looms. There's a sprawling cliff city carved directly into the ancient mesa. You see cracked stairs leading down into what seems to be a ravine where bridges sway between towers of rubble and rebuilt ruins. Some of the buildings are pristine marble. Some are weathered and decaying remains. Some are both, half ruined, half repurposed. You see rope bridges draped across archways that you get the sense once held stained glass. You see waterfalls trickling down engraved statues that are too weathered to identify. You see a massive stone head half buried that lies on its side near the entrance, its mouth sort of hanging open. And with every little gust of wind, you swear there's a whisper that comes out of it, but you convince yourself maybe not. The place feels alive, even though it mostly looks dead. Almost in a sense the way that a fossil feels alive. And as you reach the edge of the main chasm, carved into stone signs, you see pillar drop written in common, and you can only guess that the multiple different types of languages written out are pillar drop written in different languages. Below here, the world opens. You see multi-tiered halls stretching across cliff faces. You see spiraling staircases that disappear. You see floating blue lights drifting across bridges that seem to light narrow paths where others most certainly have walked before you. A few other of the new students are heading down towards their dorms. You kind of catch, conversations offhand. And most of them are moving quickly. And you, Zalzin, hear your name whispered. You look around, you don't see anybody. Again, that wind has a way of carrying information. This is Basalt House. And as you continue walking with the crowd of the new students, that same wind seems to creak open one of the many side doors on the side of this cliff to your left, right before you walk past it.
Jonathan stops. And he still has his illusory script out. It's writing in front of him. And then
How long does that
just-
last, by the way?
I believe
8 hours,
it-
right?
Let me double check for you real quick. I think it actually lasts 10 days.
Is it 10 days?
It might be.
Let me double check.
Hold on.
Yeah, 10 days. Duration, 10 days.
10 days. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay.
He
So
stops.
illusionary script writing.
He looks over. What does he see when he stops?
Are you looking? Where are you looking?
You're looking at the creaked open door.
Make a perception check.
Oh boy. Perception say. His staff glows for a moment with guidance.
Such an abuse spell by you. It's
However-
smart, but
However, a nat 1 is a nat 1, so he just ignores it and keeps walking.
yeah. With a nat 1, there's a door. There's wind. There's Sir Godfrey standing next to you. There's too much information to sort of hone in on one
He's
thing.
too focused on a script, I guess. He he just starts walking forward still.
Okay. Okay.
Taking notes. Wind opens doors.
Yes, wind open doors around here. An interesting conundrum. I shall
Yeah.
capture this wind.
Okay, so passing the door and continuing on with the walks of students, you see that they're walking down a path that, again, the cliff is on your left, and you're walking now, descending further and further into this chasm. The bottom is not visible from the height that you're at. You see again many bridges crossing that that chasm
I'm
to
jumping
deeper
over the edge.
parts.
That's it. I'm jumping.
Okay. Do you want to do this artistically or just lob it over?
Well, do I see like if the path like narrows, like goes in like a certain direction, where all the students are walking?
It starts splitting off. It starts veining off. Yeah.
I'm gonna look where the deepest area is.
It's covered in fog.
Covered
So-
in fog.
You're not sure the depth.
He does go over to an edge. I'm not sure if Godfrey's following him, but he does just kind of look down,
Yeah,
Mhm.
at this point, Godfrey's just kind of looking at you.
and then he just thinks for a moment. You see him retrieve a book from his cloak for a moment as he looks it over. Hang on, I'm checking a spell.
Did you notice something, Zalzin?
I'm thinking about taking a shortcut through this maze
Shortcut? Where do you see a shortcut?
down here, through the fog.
Okay.
I'm calculating the risks currently. Would you wish to join me?
I don't think so.
Unfortunate. And then he takes a step off.
Okay, so just so I understand what's going on here, you're stepping off the bridge.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure as a DM I'm painting this picture as accurately as I can before you make your decision.
Yes.
You can see probably I'll say a couple 100 feet before the fog totally engulfs what seems to be more networks of bridges below. Are we still doing this?
Oh yeah, if there's more bridges down below, hell yeah.
Are you aiming for a bridge or you're just
Honestly, yeah, if I can aim for like
Buzz
land-
Lightyearing it with one arm?
Nah, if I can aim for like a bridge, go ahead, Theo.
Okay.
I can like drop off a side where I know I'll hit like land. Yeah, I'll do that first and foremost.
Great. Let's make a wisdom check first. This is so that you can determine the trajectory of the next bridge below you, which
I
is
just wanna
probably
be
about 35 feet, 40 feet.
I want to be sure. You have Featherfall, don't you, Deno?
I do.
Yep, there it is.
The problem with Featherfall, just again, I just want to give you all the information. If you fuck this arc up, you will Featherfall. It's 30 feet, right?
It's 60
And
feet per round.
There
And it
may
lasts a
not.
minute.
It lasts a minute. Okay.
And it's a reaction.
Okay. So, depending on how, if there's not a bridge underneath you, you're on for the ride. So
risk.
Roll well. This is not your specialty.
Well, I rolled an 18 on top of my wisdom of 2, and am I able to guidance?
Okay. So what's your total?
23.
Okay. Zalzin. Pretty smart. Even though we're doing this, the fact stands. Pretty smart. So now let's outsource this idea to your body, and now give me an athletics check to take those calculations and third party this shit.
Athletics, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I rolled an 8 there, but I got a 4 on the guidance. That's 12. Plus, I can use my armor of magical strength, which adds my intelligence. That makes it a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Okay. You needed a 15. All right. So, Godfrey,
What do all the
as you
students,
watch...
what do all the students do when they see me just say,
It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. Hold on. So you watch as he looks, this seemingly mechanical creature looks over and he goes, disappointing. Takes one step back and then just alley-oops it off the side. And you watch as they soar down and land on the next bridge. Now, how are you landing on this bridge?
Featherfall.
Okay, so you are casting Featherfall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll let the intelligent or the
As long as I don't hold Fiona.
the wisdom check. I'll let that be part of it. That you time your Featherfall appropriately,
Those odds.
and you land successfully about, we'll say, 40 feet down onto another bridge.
All right, I look around me.
So, where you're at, as you look up and Godfrey is still standing on the cliffside, you are on a more developed bridge. This bridge has, as you sort of look down the nose of it, seems to have hundreds of statues lining the sides of this bridge. It's made of concrete, not wood, and other resources developed or gathered around the area. This one is completed.
Okay. I look toward. I guess what direction do I? I wouldn't know what direction facing. I don't have a compass on me, but I guess I'll start heading down the path that seems like it would make sense if I could figure that out.
Okay. And then just to back up, so as you jump off and land sort of delicately on the bridge, there of course is a group that's in the near vicinity that sort of watched what happened. And there's a sort of double take of you're here, and then they look up at Godfrey, or some man standing at the edge looking at you like R. Kelly style. And then they look back at you and then they go, like, were you up there? And then they go, fucking, whatever. And they just keep walking. It seems to be in the same general direction. They're walking away from you.
I guess I'll follow that.
Okay. Godfrey, what are you doing?
Monopoly.
Godfrey is gonna look over to make sure to see, because he assumes that he was just committing suicide, and he wanted to see if it actually went through. And he's gonna go over to see if that actually happened. And I guess once he gets over there, he's gonna see Zalzin down there, and he's gonna yell to him, and he's gonna say, "Zalzin, that was amazing. How did you
I
do
know."
that?"
He responds with a loud, "I know." I
Just a
calculated
middle
it.
finger. How'd you do that? Fuck you, boy.
Should have trusted me when you had a chance.
Yeah, I like to actually cast sleep on him. Go to
I
sleep.
cast Fireball on the bridge.
Now
Ninth
no one
level
can pass.
meteor strike. What do you
Now
think?
no one can pass the bridge. Only.
All right. After Zalzin sees that, or sorry, after Godfrey sees that Zalzin is alive, and he sees that, he is going to decide not to do the same thing because he's not as confident in himself to do what he just seen. And he's going to continue down the chasm that they were originally going down alone.
Okay, gotcha. So the bridge continues on the cliffside and then turns and sort of curls underneath the cliffside and then ends right where he is at. So it'll take you about 45 seconds to walk the rest of that to meet up with Zalzin.
See,
He cut off 45 seconds.
CDO, you gave.
You didn't ask. You didn't fucking ask. You just assumed.
CDO, you gave me a Candyland map, and I decided I wanted to take a shortcut.
No, it's good. It's good. What happens when you hit a slide? You know.
Oh no!
That
So
is hilarious.
Alright, I'm jumping over the next edge as he gets here.
just gonna keep froggering it. All right. So yeah, same thing for you, Godfrey. As you are walking down, you see the sort of line of hundreds of statues with plaques, all sort of memorializing whomever they're sort of carved after. There's a soft glow of what seems to be like residual magic. Some of the statues are kind of really weathered by time, but clean.
Scripts.
So not forgotten. You see some of the faces are smooth, worn smooth, indistinct from other statues. And they're sort of peppered through. It's not a consistent grouping. You also see on this bridge, there are several raised... how do you pronounce it? It's daises, right? Or daises? How do you pronounce that word?
I think it's diet. You know what? Let me ask
When you
my
do
English
plural?
major wife. I'll be right back.
It's a dais if it's singular, but is it daises or dai? I don't know. Anyways, but you see the straight bridge and then like sort of parklets where there's raised dais. I'm gonna say dais as plural, with benches to allow gatherings but not to disrupt the flow of traffic. And the that's all I'm going to give you without looking closer.
Well, if that's the case, and my boy caught up to me, I'm gonna give him the cleanest dap that has ever graced House Basalt with shocking grasp. Now I'm joking.
Okay.
Well, if he catches up to me, I'm gonna say, good, caught up.
Yeah, it wasn't that much of a difference. Godfrey is going to
He's still
approach the. Are we still around the statues with the faces that were worn away?
Yeah, like I said, there's about 100 of them. You're just ballparking it, but there are several that you see, sort of within your vision, your sight. That
Are there
have
any
faces.
that stick out at all?
Make an investigation check or a perception check. I'm going to give you, depending on which role you choose, I'm going to give you different information.
I'll be right
Do I
back.
notice?
Back in
Do I
2
notice
minutes.
him? Do I notice him
I
trying to
am
look
going
at
to
him?
do an investigation check.
Okay. What was your question, Zalzan?
Do I notice him trying to look at these statues?
Yeah, I would say you see him looking around. Yeah.
Okay. Looking for something.
Yes, I'm interested in these statues.
He taps his staff to you for a moment. Guidance. Ah. you get a plus. You get a +1 to your roll.
So close to metagaming, but it's not. But it's close. It's definitely close.
I read that. That's why I asked you. That's why.
No. It's fair game. The way you asked, totally fair.
I wasn't just gonna be like, oh yeah, here, have this. I wanted.
It was good. It was very clever.
23.
I'm sorry, what was that? 24?
23.
23. Okay. Very quickly, you're able to determine that the names that are listed and the titles that are associated with a lot of these plaques, sort of glancing at, because you rolled so high, at multitudes of plaques that are around you. You can see titles such as Professor, Student, War Hero, Monarch, Rebel. You see sort of different alignments, all memorialized through time, but no description. Just name and title.
Mm.
And the one that's closest to you reads Cyrillith the Watcher.
With the Watcher.
As you look at this statue, an aura appears at the face of the worn silhouette and protrudes to a ghostly, sort of taut, feminine skinned face with sort of glowing purple eyes with this sort of strangely uncombed white hair that sort of peeks out and then eventually steps forward from the statue entirely and looks at you, Godfrey, and then looks over at Zalzan. And keeping eye contact with Zalzan, says, "You wear his face, but not his soul."
Wait.
And then looks over at you, Godfrey, and says, "I'm curious in your path. Have you forgotten? Or have you discovered?"
I'm not gonna say, what are you?
"I am Cyrillith."
Was that the professor that was at the intro for everybody?
No.
No?
The plaque says Cyrillith, first professor of Basalt.
A professor here. Interesting. What
did he
knowledge
die?
can you impart?
Well, I suppose I'll tit for tat. If I am to give you knowledge, I need you to do something for me.
A trade for knowledge. Interesting.
Knowledge is the currency here.
Understandable. What is your request?
As you can see, my statue is weather worn.
And you want it
I
repaired?
want to ensure that truth is not lost with time. I'll volunteer knowledge and time. But, in return, and not before, I want people to remember me. I want people to talk about me. How
Ah,
badly do you seek knowledge?
the curse of lesser beings, always falling apart from their fleshy body. And then he goes, knowledge is very useful to me, depending on what you have.
You seem very confident for an unmarked.
He just stares at her.
She stares at you.
What is your request? I repeat my statement.
Speak my name. Talk about me. And occasionally, I might whisper things to you from afar. I'll answer
He's
questions.
He's gonna walk up to the statue and he's gonna touch his staff to it. And he's just gonna cast mending on like the most broken parts.
So there's nothing necessarily broken
Okay, I thought it
on
was
the
like
statue.
worn
So
leather.
as you cast mending, there's not much that happens.
he
it
just,
is
he just
more-
tilts his head.
Yeah. And she looks at it as she looks at you and she goes, I like the intent. I like the heart. But that's not what's needed here.
And your name was Salsa?
Cyrilla.
Salsa? Sorella. Salsa? Sorella.
You want to be remembered so that you can continue to live,
Of course. Who doesn't?
but you'll just die again, because even memories fade.
Well, we die twice in life. Once when our physical bodies quit, and then one more time when the last person speaks of us. I
Oh.
can't prevent organic death.
Luckily
I
for
can
you,
prevent
I
this
can.
one. She looks at you and she smiles. It's not a comforting smile.
You find amusement?
What do you know about you?
A curious inquiry, but understandable.
I'll rephrase. How are you made?
You seek the secrets that made me.
No, I think in this particular instance, I have something you would be interested in.
Possibly,
Do
depending
we
on what
have
you
a deal?
Perhaps in the future.
I'll hold my breath. And she drifts back off into the statue.
And as he's walking away, as he's walking away, he just looks over at Godfrey and goes, "I do not like that statue."
As you say this to Gottfried, Jin and Lucio, we switch over to you. As the assembly disperses, you are moving northward. The campus that rises ahead, gleams of polished glass and perfected silver. Towards you see these spiraling upward arching bridges that sort of move like clouds. Every wall here hums with acoustics. Every corridor feels like a stage. Even the air seems to kind of wait with bated breath for your words. It's a labyrinth of curved towers, and the main courtyard is dominated by fountains that waters are as mirror blue as the sky. And past the courtyard, you see the massive double doors taller than giants that swing open without touch. While most of Obius is exposed and naturalistic in its own sense, and welcoming in its own sense. And Nasequil has a different attitude. Inside the building, the sound is what hits you first. And it's not noise exactly, but echoes. Like every footstep and cough is waiting its turn to audition for you. You are in what is known as Grand Loft Hall. And Grand Loft Hall is alive with voices and laughter and bursts of spell work, and the rays of sun seem to kind of peek in, asking to be part of something grand. You see small inklings darting from a collection of chandeliers, sort of jousting quills like swords, with small inklet droplings crashing into what is perfect polished marble floors before evaporating back up and continuing that cycle. You see along the very tall walls, you see like very tall lines of opera seats that just descend to the ceiling. You see shifting staircases that move students from one to another. And up high, you're seeing gatherings of students that are practicing lines, telling stories. Some are completely still, just sort of taking in just how grandiose this place is, eyes pried wide open at the sight of what this temple has to offer. While you're looking at everything, I need you to make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Perception. I mean, I love
that was
having
so
a.
bad. I got a 9.
Wait, perception's. Whatever. I got a 16.
Okay. Sorry, who said 16?
Oh, I did.
Okay, Jen. Okay, gotcha. So Jen, as you're taking everything in, and Lucio, you as well, something hits you, Jen, real quick, and you decide to look up. And as you look up, what you see is a very... I'll start with this. What you see is also balconies that are above you. That the ceiling is flooring of the balconies that are above you. And you see reaching over the railing a very handsome, what seems to be half-elf, in very sort of decorative clothing, sort of white furled shirt underneath, a very sort of crimson red striped overcoat that just sings of luxury, with a combination of like sort of combed over professional hair with spikes throughout it, sort of blending in those two worlds. And you see this sort of cock of a smile as he sees the both of you enter into this building. And he's holding some kind of large mug and just looks at you looking up at him, and then just tips it over and pours the contents. Because you notice this, go ahead and make a dexterity check to see if you can avoid this.
Can I cast Mystic Step?
You most certainly can.
I would like to cast Mystic Step to put myself about 10 feet away from where he's pouring.
Okay, so as you cast Misty Step and you sort of move over 10 feet, Lucio, you are drenched in what feels and looks like just a massive cup of water. And when this water hits you, you hear laughter of especially the students that are above, because it's not just him. There's a grouping of them. And you also hear across the room people sort of noticing what's going on and cheering. Some of them are not okay with it. You see the, kind of picking sides kind of thing. But there's definitely now a tension on the two of you.
Oh man, what the hell? Is this some kind of like ceremonial, like initiation type thing, or?
Hey, what's that for?
Oh, I was just welcoming you in. Welcome into an Instaquill. Now, I understand that every tavern needs background noise and every drunk needs a tune, but you're not at a brothel. You're stepping foot into a temple. And by the doe-eyed look that you got, I'd say you're admiring more than you're feeling a sense of belonging. Again, the grouping around them sort of laughing at you.
I can do both. I definitely belong here, probably more than you're. I'm not gonna say that. That's kind of mean. You're probably.
No. Go on.
Oh, that was good.
Nah, it's all good. I gotta get to know you before I
Say it.
Well, now that you want me to, I don't wanna. It's-
A bard. Shy. Could you believe this? And you watch as he grabs his loot from the back and pulls it to the front and leaps off the balcony. And the balcony's about 60 feet up from where you are. And there's, again, that cocky, painted smile on his face. And as he rapidly falls down, he also, about 10 feet from the ground, just immediately what you would guess, misty steps, and appears behind you and strums a power chord on his lute. And he stands in this sort of thin cloud of vapor and poses with this arrogance as his fingers are stretched across an F chord, which we all know is the hardest chord to stretch your fingers on. And he looks at you and he goes, well, by the looks of you both, my guess is, and he points at you, Jen, and he goes, you're the backup player. Gear hauler, maybe? And you, looks at Lucio, are the one with the practice space that Daddy lets you use? So let's see it. Show your girth. And he begins playing what at first seems to be a simple, soft-picking, single note sort of music. Chin up high with sort of eyes closed, sort of basking in the melody. And then he strikes a powerful chord and ink blots just shoot up from the ground like pyrotechnics. And the strings are electrified. It's full-bodied and it reverberates through the halls. And if people weren't watching the show before, they most certainly are now. And students starts gathering and whispering and sort of picking who they're chanting for. And you hear this name over and over again, Soren, begin to be screamed in excitement by members of the audience. And it seems you have a name. How do you want to proceed?
I'll like to pull my loot out. And,
Lucio's gonna. Oh, you finish first. Go ahead.
And no, you go. I'm thinking.
He's gonna step forward and go. All right, I see the whole thing you got going on here. You know, you're gonna pick on the new guy and try and throw me off right as I'm walking in here and admiring all this beautiful, amazing shit that I've never seen before and is blowing my mind. You know, it's cool and all, but it's just it reeks of insecurity and it's kind of lame, honestly. And as he says that, he's pulling his loot off of his back and he's like, that's cool and all, though. I'm more than down for this. You brought me an audience.
If you're a
that's what
poet,
I'm
be
here
a
for.
poet. Let the loot down. If you're gonna give us all of this pre-written works up, I mean, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
He's starting to like strum a real soft melody. He's waiting for Jin to join in as well.
Okay.
I
Make a performance check.
both of us, or I am gonna join in.
Okay, you're gonna join
That
in.
is a
Okay,
22.
so either one of you can roll with advantage, or both of you roll.
Think
You
both.
can roll if you want, Jin. Yeah, I already rolled pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll roll mine. I do, in fact, have a +9 to this. That is a 17, so +9. That will make that a 26. I can't count. 26.
Okay.
23, 26, let's go.
Okay. 21. So, as you mention insecurity, you hear people sort of being like, oh, maybe it is. Maybe it
I'll
is
be
an
right back,
insecurity.
but I can still hear
And
you.
start to turn on this person. And there's a need to prove himself now. Now you're in the battle. I need another performance check from you all. Again, individual or as a group.
I think individual again. That is a base of 13, so plus 9 makes that a 21.
Okay?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, what are we rolling for?
Another performance check.
And judges
Oh,
speak
shit.
high and mighty.
Sorry, I can't do math. That's a 25.
Okay. So, 26 on this one. So, knowing the prowess that you both are bringing to, and that maybe there was a sort of not sizing you both correctly, he starts to play a little bit more aggressively. And you can see, again, some of the applause started to rise and more shouts of his name. Go ahead and roll another performance check.
Alright.
As the crowd is getting more intense, Lucio's gonna start like kind of dancing more intensely as well. And at a certain point, whenever we hit like kind of like a big moment in the song, he's gonna do like a big spin or whatever, and he has the ability to like change how his cloak looks. He's gonna make it a shit ton of like vibrant, bright colors, very like flashy.
Oh, okay, we're doing this. Dio, can I cast? I rolled a 26. But can I cast Mirror Image?
Is mirror image an action or a bonus action? I think
I think it's a bonus action, but let me double check that.
double check that.
I'm pretty sure it's an action.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. it's an
I'm
action.
almost certain.
It is
but
it is an action. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
I'd also
yeah. Unfortunately, I
Once-
can't cast it because right now the performance is the action. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But 26 does beat a 24. So again, there's that sort of pull and push as strumming along and getting. You now see this sort of vein pop in the front of the forehead and a little bit of sweat as the eyes were sort of glancing around at the audience, sort of basking in that praise, and now is locked directly at you, sizing you as now a threat. Go ahead and make another performance check.
Once our performance gets to being a minute, I'd like to use my, what is it called? Enthralling performance. But I think that technically takes effect once we're done.
Oh, so real quick, I just want to say to you guys, remember that Bardic Inspiration is a bonus action.
Yes, I was just looking at that.
So technically speaking, you guys could be giving each other bonus action, your Bardic Inspirations here.
Yeah, I totally forgot that I'm a bard, honestly. Yeah, I'm inspiring the fuck out of Jin right now.
It's fine. I'm all fine. I'm more warlock than I am bard.
I do like a backflip, and it inspires the hell out of Jim.
Oh shit.
Oh, he's so inspired.
I strike a JoJo-esque pose to inspire him.
Holy fuck.
Alright, now that we've inspired each other.
What's
Let me roll
Lucas, what level bard are you?
2.
Okay, and you're a full bard, right, Donnie?
Correct.
A full bard.
Full-blooded.
I think Donnie's Bardic Inspiration's a D8 now. Luke should still be a D6.
Yeah, mine's a D6.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is a D8.
Okay, so I get that. Okay, well, holy shit, this is gonna be.
In that case, I rolled a 21.
So okay. Jesus Christ, I rolled high. Okay, I gotta do actual math. Fuck. Okay, so that's 23. That is a 31.
Okay. So Lucio, it's -2 to you. And then a 31 from Jen. Also, there's a sound coming, not from your playing. You're confident in your playing, especially with a 31. But as you're playing on your turn, there's sounds of an untuned lute, which is like nails on a chalkboard to you, as Soren pulls out what seems to be a small strip of some kind of material and sort of flicks it in the air like a ribbon and then pulls it back down.
I don't need all that.
He's a cheating bastard.
Let's do another performance check.
I cast guidance from across the college. My friend's leaving.
Helmrich is going to, if there's one thing that Helmrich does love to do, it's putting bullies in their place. If Helmrich ever finds this poor man, he will trash compactor him.
I will now crush you.
Oh, that is a natural 1.
His string broke. Oh no.
I got a 24.
28. So just ripping into you, adding lyrics now to your shame of your playing and how out of tune your lute sounds, and making fun of this pathetic duet of an attempt to even be in these halls. How dare you? The crowd shifts towards Soren. Roll another performance check.
This man's gonna go into permanent time loop stasis where Helmrich is gonna rip him apart over and over again.
That is a 17.
17?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna minor illusion a whole bunch of like fireworks and explosions and just the most obnoxious shit I can think of, just to like get people looking back at us. Also, I rolled a 16 total.
Is minor illusion, that's an action as well, right?
It is one action, correct? It lasts
Yeah, okay,
1
gotcha,
minute.
Okay, perfect. So 26. So the competition's getting fierce. If you'd like to do anything before we do another performance check, let me know.
Jin, we gotta do our
Bardic
finisher
inspiration. Bardic inspiration.
Can I do that mirror image?
Yes, as an action, yeah.
Yes. I would like to do that.
Okay. So, as the sort of crowd is swaying towards Soren, the crowd sort of notices, and as people gasp and sort of point, watch as Jin sort of, the couple just sort of distorted images around. Lucia, what are you doing?
I in fact created a full board.
I would like to bardically inspire Jin.
Okay.
Oh, I also use my bonus action to bardically inspire him. That is 2 bardic inspiration, so I have 1 left.
We hit like a fusion dance pose to inspire each other to the maximum levels.
Let me just mark down those bardic inspirations. Boop boop. Okay.
And then Jin, whatever roll you roll, -2.
Whatever I roll, -2. Okay.
Correct.
So let me just grab this. So no, that's what? That's 15.
18.
This is a 22.
22. All right. So, with the additional musicians sort of backing you up and filling in the solos that you're doing, the crowd is really enjoying that performance. Starts swaying to your direction. Another performance check.
Is it a -2 again?
No.
Okay.
That was bad. That's a 12 total. Or sorry, 13
that
total.
is a 21.
28. So, as continuing to playing through this charade of amateur pyrotechnics and and manipulation of space. Real talent is showing through. Roll another performance check.
I throw a dagger at his throat.
Yeah?
No.
Let's go!
I really want to cast a mean spell at him, but
Cast Vicious Mockery. I did roll in that 20 though.
Ooh,
A nat 20?
Ooh, yeah, there it is.
oh fuck it.
Okay. So
guess
what is
he's
the
gonna
total on
ask.
that one?
yep,
29.
there it is. The dreaded question. What's the total?
29.
Okay. I just wanted to know the total because I rolled a nat 1. So,
Close. Milo.
as he continues to play, breaks 2 of his strings, and you, with the multitude of musicians backing up Lucy as well, this sort of swell of music comes up. The pyrotechnics, the whole crowd champions towards you, and you watch from the very high balconies a sort of a liquid sort of dart coming towards in your direction and flying in between your group and Soren. You watch as a massive blob of ink just splats onto Soren's face as that dart flies off. And looking back at you is the face of the Inesequil mascot smiling with just the smuggest of smiles. Soren standing there with ink dripping down his face, 2 strings broken on his lute. The crowd immediately turns on him, laughing, mocking. You watch as people start to huddle towards you all, sort of asking your name, asking what happened, like, how did you do that? And Soren immediately takes the fuck off. The group of students that were around him initially sort of fading back into the crowd with embarrassment.
Can I throw some insults at him?
Absolutely.
Yeah, same.
Hey, where you going? Can't say that he can repair your loot.
Looks like
People start
you're-
laughing and giggling.
Looks like you're
I hope he's crying. Is he
back up
crying?
the shit you were talking, bro.
Is he crying? I hope he's crying.
Umric could not have delivered a more thorough beating.
I
Strings
love how
broken,
that
just
ended
like your
because
ego.
it was so in his favor, but a natural 1 and a natural 20, absolutely, like it's devastating. That's
And my
devastating.
natural 6. Together we defeated him.
That's Pickle saved us.
Oh, I love it. All right, so let's go back as that's happening in an Inesequil house. Helmrick. As students are constantly moving through the raised dais that you're at, you see that there's another section of students that are making their way towards the next destination, and they're sort of dividing. I'll let you choose. There's 2 places that you could go from here. One is Opius Walk, and I'm not going to give you too much information because you're only going to be hearing pieces of information from conversations around you. But you do hear the name Opius Walk. You also hear the word Furrygale. Where do you go?
Is there? Actually, you know what? I think Tenhawk. God, it's happening constantly.
You didn't do it at all the first session.
No,
No,
but I
you're
wanted
weird.
to. The first session, I was actively. You know what?
You
I know
didn't talk a
it
lot.
is.
That is
That's probably what it is. But also, I am half a bottle. I'm a full bottle of wine. This glass is just about.
I'm a full bottle of mead with you. Cheers, my friend.
Gabe,
Cheers, brother.
Gabe, if
I will
Salzman
cheer
and
to this
Helmert die,
liter of water.
if Salzman and Helmert die, we bring back Victor and Tanok.
Oh,
God, I'm so
Okay.
happy how that battle ended.
Oh, that was
Oh.
great.
So good.
Helmrich, I think, would follow Obius Walk.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, hearing the conversations around you and hearing some students mentioning something called Obia's Walk, you follow them. And leading out of this chamber onto another stoned walkway that's carved into what seems to be a cliffside. The path itself curves and sort of shifts slightly with each step. And along the route, you see floating sculptures, you see living paintings, you see elemental murals that sort of are animated within the space with all strokes of color and emotion. Some whisper, some sing, some seem to breathe. And each is a record of Throm's student body's work. Some appear to be decades old, if not older, and some merely days. Some pulse with power, and others kind of tremble like they're dying. As you walk, you come to what seems to be a massive wall painting that has a 2D flickering of artwork on it between two mages that are mid-battle. You see puffs of smoke escaping from the rock as fireballs are, thrown towards the other mage. And that other mage is pulling up boulders from the earth and throwing it towards the other. You feel the air shift, and they turn and lock eyes with you, sort of arcane ready. Spells mid-cast and freeze. Like normal drawings.
I think Helmrich kind of instinctively puts a hand on the hilt of his flail, kind of thumbing the pommel, almost taking like comfort in it as he stares at them. Before, is this just along the path?
Yeah.
Okay. He very cautiously just keeps walking.
Okay. Continuing down the path, the next thing that you find is a cracked obsidian sculpture of what seems to be a humanoid figure with an opening in the chest cavity. And inside there's like flickering embers. The plaque underneath is shattered. Make a perception check for me.
Better have perception. Fool. 12.
12. Okay. You hear faintly in the wind a voice. And it's hard to make out the whole sentence. But you get this feeling it's speaking directly to you. And again, the beginning of it doesn't come through clearly. You hear truth. That's about what you can pick up out of it.
Helmrich's immediately going to make an insight check.
Okay.
Because this is some demonic tomfoolery happening.
Okay.
And then you hear Zalzin just saying, "Hi, it's me, Zalzin. I jumped off a cliff."
Dirty 20. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, dirty 20.
Okay, dirty 20. I'll give you this. So using you only picked up a few 2 words out of the sentence, but sort of through a delayed auditory sort of context clues. You believe it said something along the lines of embers feed me true. Something like that. And you look and you see that the embers are pulsing. There's small little sort of shards that sort of spit out. And there's a warmth to it. and it's got that faint kind of glow, and you get the sense that it's listening to you. With that roll.
All right. He kind of stares, not really talking to anyone. He says, what is this? More exposures of the self? More talk of weakness? More shame to bring to me? And then he kind of stares at it and goes, it doesn't matter anymore. And he kind of like almost puts his hand in to see if it hurts him.
Okay. So into the chest cavity, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. So you put your hand in the chest cavity. It's warm to the touch. Nothing more than that.
All right. Did it like kind of ignite at anything he said?
Nope.
Or
No
did it
reaction
change?
as far as you can see.
I think he said it's called the Ember of Truth. That's what he heard.
Out of the words that,
Yeah.
yeah. You heard, speak in embers, something true. Those were kind of the things that you kind of gathered.
Do you wish my truth or any truth?
No response.
Do you wish a story?
No response.
Truly, how low I have come. And he kind of withdraws his hand to be speaking to embers. Still nothing.
Nope.
Oh,
Just waits. So you feel.
oh God. I don't even know what to roll.
Just tell me what you want to do.
I don't know. I'm kind of stumped.
I told you this is going to be a different campaign.
No, I know. That's fine. I think how is he like? Is there still like groups of people walking by?
Yeah. It's not as busy here. This seems to be a little bit more isolated. But yes, you see that there's people walking towards you. They're some distance away. And then there were people that you were behind that are walking away from you. So you have moments of privacy, at least right now.
I think Helmrich is going to take a moment, and he's going to sit next to the statue. And just
Okay.
in the moments of privacy, I think Helmrich is just, I think for like the first time in his life, kind of just take in everything. Because he's not in the hills, but it's close enough that he's kind of comfortable. And he's going to talk about a man named Helmrich and I didn't send this to you, but I actually meant to. And he's going to talk about how Helmrich was a warlock under his father, and that was the man that raised him. Above all else, Helmrich was like a servant more than anything, but Helmrich is who taught him how to fight, and who taught him how to hold a shield, and no matter the beatings or the punishments, Helmrich was the one that kind of stood tall. And that's a lot of what Helmrich modeled himself off of, including his name. And I think just in those moments, he's just going to talk about that.
Okay. As you're talking about that, there's a moment where you realize something is behind you. And you turn and you watch as through the cliffside and through the desert around this statue, it's pulling in material into it. And you watch as the material that it's pulling around into it is cleaning it, is filling in cracks, is supporting it, is making it brighter. And you can swear you hear this strained echo say, "You're getting it."
Is
As
it like
the statue
continuing?
sort of starts to heal through you telling this story?
I think Helmrich kind of cocks his head, and then what's another good story that Helmrich? I almost did it again. That Helmrich has. I think Helmrich starts telling stories about his first battles, which were messy and terrible because his father did not throw him as like a leadership or some grand executive. He was thrown in as a grunt. He was fighting, I forgot what they're called, the Meridians, which I think are just like faceless soldiers, being whipped by bearded devils and stuff, and just fighting through like the gruel and the muck. But that's where he first really started to make his name for himself. When others would fall, when he was fighting with like the souls of those who were made deals or just were sent to hell, like the people who were traded, and he was fighting alongside them, he kind of grew a respect for mortals, for their tenacity, and he took that into himself.
Okay. And through the conversation that you're having, there's a sense of, privacy. That when people are walking by, they hush their conversations. They pick up their pace. They walk, faster. And there's almost a sense of being withdrawn from that path and being more secluded as you're retelling these stories. It almost feels like it's just you and the statue.
I
Zalzin.
think
Oh, go ahead.
No. I'll wait.
Zalzin, Godfrey. Let's go to you now.
I jump off the next nearest cliff. You coming, Godfrey?
No, I'll just watch you.
You have just watched the spirit, the ghost, the echo of that woman, Cyrilith, sort of fade back into the statue. Students still walking past you, moving on to what seems to be the grand hall of Basalt. What would you like to do?
I suppose we shall continue forward.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay.
Cheer up,
So,
Godfrey. There's
No,
new discoveries to be had.
I'm not here for discoveries.
And perhaps evil ones that, he looks back at the statue, that might not be beneficial to communicate with. Keeps walking.
Maybe.
Okay. As the two of you weed your way back into the crowd, you see at the end of Effigy Road, the path slopes towards a massive cliffside structure carved into the living rock. You see the words Kalima Hall.
Taj Mahal.
Kalima Hall sort of rises like a cathedral of history. Towering columns framing its entrance, each etched with runes in hundreds of different languages, some current, some forgotten. You see there's a colossal statue that's in front of the hall as well, almost overlooking each student as it enters its chambers. Hands folded, eyes closed, almost like dreaming. Inside are wide tiers of stone seating that descends towards a central dais. Above you can see a crystal sphere floating, flickering within the room, and you see past fading fragments of wars, of coronations, of lectures. You see authors writing books, diplomats traveling, women and men of decorated high status, changing and molding history. You see students interacting with these 3D memories. Some speaking to older versions of themselves, even of past members of Basalt House. And as you walk in, you see before the two of you an older dwarven professor that seems to be covered in a sort of opaque dust from a new sculpture that he's working on. And he smiles at you with this curiosity and welcoming, and begins to walk closer and jolts backwards as between the two of you, appearing in the dust and light, a man comes to form. Very messy hair. And there's this sad look on his face in what seems to be very worn and uncared for clothing. And as he looks at the two of you, there's just this melancholy feeling that you get. And as he sort of turns his attention away from the two of you and looks over to the left, you see another figure form. One of malicious sort of happiness. And those two figures look at each other and reach for each other, and once they touch, fall. Now only space between you and the professor that initially, initiated contact and looks at you and went, well, that means something.
What a curious anomaly.
You hear calls are being made for dinner. There are waves of new students sort of making their way towards elevators that are rising and falling. Large platforms that hold upwards of 50 students at a time. And there are essentially dozens of them. And you see with the timing, they're pretty frequent. And the professor just looks at you and just goes, welcome to Basalt House.
Thank you, teacher.
He turns to him and he goes, and what is your designation?
Oh, I mostly take care of the place. More of a curator than professor, I would say.
A respectable position.
Oh,
Your statues
Well-
outside seem to speak as well.
Oh, yes. If you lend an ear, it will be filled.
this place is strange. When will we begin the lessons?
I like strange, though. Strange just means not understood yet. There's much to be
Correct.
understood here.
All anomalies that must be learned.
Mm-hmm. Like you, for
I like
instance. There's not a lot of you left.
Tilt his head. I'm right here.
I'm glad you're here.
Not a lot of me left.
No. No. Not since you were outlawed. But you're here. And much to
I'm
learn.
not sure what that means exactly, but yes.
Not
I am here.
yet, you don't. Not yet. But
Of
you
course.
will. You will.
There are many memories that have been blocked from me for the time being.
What is your name?
Zausen.
Zausen. Well, that's not a name usually associated with your kind. That's interesting. What is your purpose?
He thinks for a moment. To be the benefactor of all races by collecting and preserving ancient items and perhaps life forms.
You're very independent. Most students come here to learn about the world outside. I think you're going to learn more about inside.
That is a primary goal, correct?
What fun. Good for you. I'm rooting for you.
He looks around. Considering what I am, I must be of some semblance to this place, as it is all ruins and ancient items, and I myself am quite old.
Well, you're going to find
I'm sure
people
people
are
will
going to
take
view you
interest-
differently. Some people are going to champion that you are a walking history. Others are going to look at you as something to dissect and understand, lacking humanity. You're not going to
They
want to
can-
let those people in.
He just looks at him and goes, "They can try. They will all fail."
Good. I like the spirit. I'm on your side, to make things perfectly clear. But it's good to know how people view you here. You are an interest, to say the least. I'm sure even some of our spirits have reached out to you in one way or another before you made your way here.
Yes.
It's going to happen again.
One wanted knowledge from me. I refused.
Gorilla.
Interesting. Interesting. And I don't mean to ignore you, my good man.
No, it's fine. I
Um,
prefer it that way.
His spirits seem lower than the average student around here.
Oh. No.
I'm going to the
Spirits
bathroom. I'll be
here
right back.
have
I'll still be able to
learned
hear.
all that possibly they could have learned in their lifetime. And they've stuck around to learn from other lifetimes. And still are the eyes and ears of all that Basalt has to offer. They have more knowledge than most books. You'd be wise to listen to them.
The spirit we talked to was was the first professor. So,
The
so,
pers- the- Oh, Cyrillith, the Watcher. You met her.
yes, she was the one who seemed very interested in my mate.
You mean in your design?
Potentially, but there was more to it.
I'm sure there is with her. I don't know nearly as much as her.
I think she wants to return personally.
That's
He's-
not unknown.
He's dead, and she wants to live through memory.
Yeah. We want all to live here.
I don't think it's just
All of our
memory,
spirits.
God.
But everything dies, and once dead, it can't return.
He looks up at you. Not necessarily.
I'm also going to challenge you on that.
Challenge away.
There are things worth preserving, whether it's ideology, morals, viewpoints, organizations. Doesn't necessarily mean that once the founder passes, that the movement stops. Or that it should.
But you just name things that are not what people are. People are born and people die, and they don't come back. So
That's
really
the
wants to
great
be
thing, though.
remembered because she's dead.
Yet she was
Is she,
able to
though?
talk with us and
Is she,
tried to get us to spread her name to keep her alive in memory. But again, she wanted to know my design. I believe to try to come back herself. Something like me. But I doubt her inferior nature would let her ascend to what I am.
Are you living?
He just looks over and he goes, depends on what you call living. My metal is unlike anything else.
That's clear. This place is full of mystery and full of mysterious people.
But it doesn't have to be.
And that's why we're here.
Well, that I can agree with. I'm eager to learn.
Well, make your way to the platforms. See what you can find. And
Which one would you recommend?
which platform? Take
Yeah.
any of them. They all lead to the same destination. At least for now. I hope to see you all around.
And what was your name again?
Corinne.
And bid you a good day, Corinne.
It was good meeting you two. What are your names?
I am Sir Godfrey.
Once again,
Sir Godfrey.
Zelda.
Zalzin. I won't forget. It was good meeting you both.
He nods and he starts walking with his staff, and he still has his like a mage hand and his paper in front of him as he's still writing out everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he just
So-
walks with the staff clanking on the frame or the stone.
Godfrey's just
Gotcha.
trotting behind Zalzin.
All right. As you both walk through and make your way to one of the lifts, there's again a heavy grouping around you. And the lift shifts and starts to descend lower into the chasm. And as the lift grinds to a stop, a slow stop, you see a sweeping cavern with pale blue crystal and black limestone. You see thousands of tiny soul lights hovering in midair, glowing faintly. You hear the sound of distant waterfalls echoing through the chasm, intertwining with the melody and the hums of the arcane energy. You see rows of stone tables sort of raised from this central dais, where you see the familiar two deans that you were introduced to in the snarl, sitting underneath what seems to be a colossal fossilized dragon skull. And everyone is sort of making their place to the tables and watching as the two deans rise robes immaculate, eyes bright with sort of spectral reflection, and you hear, history is not chaos, but an equation forever solving itself. Tonight we are welcome to new variables into Basalt Grand Proof. So eat, speak, and remember, each action writes itself into patterns. And a sort of ripple behind her as the spectral scholars appear, materialize behind her, silently writing down every word that she says. And you hear a sort of swelling of applause before a graveled, deep laugh kind of cuts through the halls as what? Say it again.
I would like to get as close as I can.
Sure. So, okay. So you find a seat pretty close to her. There's a couple students in front of you, but you are, for the argument's sake, pretty front stage. And you both sit down. Before the applause fades out, Dean Krillage stands up and sort of scoffs at what the other dean says. And staff sort of striking the stones. It goes, patterns, equations. You get worse every year. History is a battlefield where only the contestants is surprise. Welcome, little Storms. Tonight we drink, we scar, we learn. Eat up. And he snaps his fingers, and you watch as rings of flames consume the edges of the table and are immediately snuffed out by wind that leave full plates and mugs. You see midnight blue stews releasing steam. You see pastries that are briefly mirroring the eater's face before fully consumed. You see black crusted bread leaving faint ember runics on the tongue. You see meads, you see milk teas, you see spring water, and all of those sort of just engorging and indulging in the foods around you. You also see beside you a younger female, either in her very late teens or early 20s, with pointed ears, hood over what seems to be this like sort of matte blonde hair, just draped in a robe, a very sort of unappealing, flappy robe. And she, mouth full of food, looks over at you and goes, I think morality lives within the space. You know, the space in between. Rules can protect the weak and cage them. Freedom can birth genius and cruelty. Maybe the question isn't which side wins, but whether you stay awake along to see both sides claim your soul. What do you think?
Are you asking for my food?
No. I'm merely stating that it seems like there's a division between this or that, and I can see the validity in both. I think that while there's a good nature of needing to choose this side or that way, I think there's an argument to be said about equality and the necessity for both to exist codependently.
Everything has
Probably
a delicate balance.
Probably not popular.
Well, everything has a delicate balance.
Right. So, while it is important to know oneself, it's not necessarily important enough to say the other side should be eradicated, right? We can agree to that, right?
Correct. All things should be cataloged and collected.
I disagree. Morality is founded in strength in those who win over in battle. They choose right and wrong because no one can argue because they're dead.
You have a curious mind, Godfrey.
So which side do you choose?
The
Chaos or order?
There's order in life and death. Those who live decide what is right, and those who dead do not.
What would be your place if there wasn't chaos? Let's say if we waved a pen and it went. Where would you be? Would you exist?
Me, as of now, I am a result of chaos. I would no longer
Exactly.
exist.
Yeah, exactly. And a result. So you need both.
Hmm.
I just pushed my food over to her.
And she starts taking sort of scoops of mashed potatoes and, things that are on your plate and goes, sort of mid bites. Order is safe, but potentially oppressive. Chaos is freeing, but meaningless without some order. I feel like the best place to live is in between.
Maybe you're right.
He just
Maybe
leans in
you're
really
wrong.
close for a moment and he goes, "Interesting. You seem to have a grasp of knowledge others might not, even at.
I'm back.
You seem young."
And as Gabriel enters back into the chat.
I like your sense of the world. I recant my statement.
I will say this. It could be me being cowardice, that I haven't chosen which side to live on primarily. But I just find that if you take away the evil, if you take away the threat, where do heroes born from?
A stagnation.
be.
I'm sorry, your friend interrupted you. What did you say?
Which one?
You.
Ah. Heroic deeds are a consequence of disorder and chaos in the world. And so
Correct.
if disorder and chaos are absent, then so too is heroism.
Yeah.
One must exist for the
Heroism
other.
is reliant on chaos. So I think there's a need for both. I don't think that you should look at it as a this or that.
Well, maybe
I like
what
the
if
middle.
we start in the middle and the goal is to end where chaos no longer thrives? What if with the expulsion of chaos and just the memory of it, heroism can then continue to thrive through tales?
Interesting. I love to study maps. That's what I love to study. And sort of through having studied maps and locations of relics and artifacts and old texts, I've had to study history sort of as a positive byproduct. And what I've found is that if there's too much heroism, they become the thing that they hate. They become the chaos. And if there's too much chaos, well, then civilizations are wiped off the earth.
If there's too
I'm
much
glad that we can have this conversation because too many people here I find to be binary. It's one or the other. And I like that. I respect that you have your certainties, but you're open to other ideas. It's refreshing. I appreciate this conversation.
What is your designation?
What do you mean by that? Because that could mean a multitude of things.
Name.
Oh, I'm Rayla. Rayla Varen.
It's
My
nice to
name
meet you.
is Zalzin.
Zalzin, good to meet you. And what about you?
I am Sir Godfrey.
Sir Godfrey. And where did you get such a title?
I was once a knight of renown.
When you say once were, are you no longer?
Many would say that I'm not, and I would agree.
And why would you let them narrate your status?
It is just the truth of the matter. I am no
Where's the
longer who I once
chaos in
was.
you?
It's there. It's coursing through my veins.
So it's in your veins. It's not out yet. But it will be.
That's the plan. Oblivion is calling my name.
Well, this got dark.
I just keep writing my script.
Zalz and Godfrey, as you continue on this conversation, Jin, Lucio, as the crowd champions you
Get back to
on
the
your massive defeat over Sorzan, I have two places that you could go to explore. Again, gathering conversations that are around you. There are groups of students that are mentoring something called a Rose Stage, talking about live performances. And there is also an area called the Dramarium. Where would you like to go?
I wish to go to the Germanium.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Germanium? All right.
Yes.
Okay.
We're on the
So-
same wavelength.
Following the group that is mentioning the Dramarium, you exit out of the main halls and continue on to another wing of the campus. You enter in the Dramarium, a multi-use space, something between a rehearsal space and a spa and a training ground. You hear beautiful voices climbing and ascending in absolute accuracy, with this beauty and dramatized sigh and occasional magical booms punctuated by applause as people project and practice their vocals. The air smells of chalk and roses and hot oil from enchanted lamps. And on one side of the room, you see the mirrored rehearsal chambers that reflect dancers that are mid-spin in their practices. You see their images multiplied until the whole room feels like a chorus line. You see the gray rooms, which seems to be a series of makeup tables that have enchanted mirrors that talk back to their seaters, offering helpful tips on makeup, giving pep talks, or snide criticisms depending on their mood. And on the other side of the room, you see across the way a heavy iron door that's labeled the silencing chamber. And as you both take in this space, you hear a voice behind you like velvet. And as a claw comes over, I will say, let's go with Lucio. Lucio's shoulder. You hear a voice that says, "You know, most students avoid this room like it's cursed." And you look up and you see an owlin with these like fire orange eyes that peer at you, with this furrowed brow in adorned armor with this very thin red velvet cape that drips down. The iron has this like decorative ivory and almost like Lapazul sort of combined coloring to it. And the owl sort of looks down at you and goes, you know, they can't stand the thought of their own thoughts staring back at them. Most here don't. Unchecked egos, most approve, little to show, but you. And she shifts and tilts her head at Jin. I think you'll find it clarifying. The silence doesn't steal your voice, it sharpens it, makes it echo in a way that you didn't know it could. The strongest performers aren't the ones who are the loudest, they're the ones who learn what it means when every word matters, every note, every silence. And her sort of armored forearm sort of gestures towards the heavy iron door, letting her sort of Inca magic briefly stretch the outline of the staged curtain across it. And she goes, go on, step in. Think of it as your first true rehearsal. Alone, yes, but not without an audience. The silence itself will be listening. And she gives you a smile, a sort of sly, knowing smile. If you can master silence, Jin Tarvish, the rest of the world is child's play.
Master the silence, message chat.
Go ahead, man. You got this.
What?
I totally believe in you.
I will step up.
Okay. As you walk forward and grab onto the heavy iron door and pull it, it's heavy. You find behind it a soulless black staring back at you. And as you enter, the door shuts behind you, and it sort of slams with a little bit more force than you were willingly pulling it with, like somebody was pushing it closed from the outside. And inside, you smell damp, salted water. And it's pitch black to most. This room was designed for its user to be completely deprived of vision. But you, Jen, are not like most users. Your vision shifts, and you watch as the suffocating black darkness blooms into complete clarity. You see that you're standing on the edge of a frozen in time lake. The stonework that you're standing on slowly recedes into a massive pool of what smells to be salt water. Behind you, the iron door and the wall that iron door joins with stretches out as far as your eyes can see on either side, seemingly infinite in either direction, matching the waters as well. Infinite horizon, like an ocean within a room.
What is this?
As you begin to speak, nothing comes out. Your voice is choked.
Oh. Guess I'll try to speak again.
What do you say?
Where is this? When is this?
Nothing. Something is suppressing your ability to say anything. And as you stand there, you notice the waters make no noise. There is no ambiance in this room. Like a vacuum. Sound is missing.
I'll walk closer to the lake. I try to put my hand in it.
Okay. You walk a couple steps. and you put your hand in the water. And the water reacts normally like water would. Ripples. And you watch as those ripples cascade outward. And you watch as the very small, faint ripples that you added into the water begin to magnify and get bigger and bigger, like receding waves that you've caused. Like you threw a larger stone in the water and an even larger stone. And then you watch as unnaturally it flattens. And about 100 feet out, you can see something breach just barely over the water, stirring. You can see the movement of water underneath the surface. And then you watch as this, what seems to be a massive creature, just comes out just barely and splashes down. And then again, unnaturally, the water resets.
Does it make noise?
It doesn't. You just see the movement of water. And then there's a pause. About 30 feet in front of you, you watch something surface. Pointed branches. You watch black and gray hair adorned in rosebuds break the surface. Seemingly bone dry, never having touched the water. You see these eyes, deep citrus and specks of blood, pale face with pointed tears, and the neck draped in face-swirled leathers come up chest high. It stares at you. Watch this creature surface. It is of no surprise to you. You're very familiar with who this is. As the sort of feminine featured sort of fake creature looks at you and goes, well, well, well. Isn't my favorite disappointment? My broken string, my wandering note. Tell me, Jen, when did the Opius Institute become your master? Did they force you here? Blackmail? Hold you by the back of the neck? Because I don't recall signing off on this chapter.
No, sire. Listen, this will get you something greater.
Nothing comes out. And he goes, oh, shoot. You may not be able to speak, but that barrier holds none on me. You failed me at Halt Note. Yes. Another hand claimed the prize that I so desperately wanted, and your family paid the price. Much like you, their laughter, their warmth, silenced. But one failure is not the end. I'm very forgiving. It's only where the next verse begins, my little songbird. You're here now, at Obius. This is not by chance, but we can make something of this. Here's what you'll do for me, for your family, for us. You will climb their towers, read their books, sing their truths and lies back to me. I want you to tell people of me. Every word, every note you play. I want it to echo my name. Most importantly, I require something that you will not fail me this time. I just know you won't. In this place lies something buried. A shard of the first broken promise. A crystal echo, older than any tomb Candlekeep can offer. They call it the Echo of Starlight. I want it. And you, my sweet little failure, you're gonna bring it to me. And in return, I will stop whatever is happening to your family. There may still be time. And then we can live happily ever after. Your family safe, warm, and sound, and you adventuring and exploring for me. Everybody wins.
I will say that fucking Jin is constantly fucking shaking right now. He has not stopped shaking since they have shown up. It has
Is that a yes? Come on, Jen. Sting
immediate-
it
just-
for me.
Just a head shake. I attempt to.
That beautiful little song. And perhaps one day, it won't just be my song. You'll write it. And then it disappears into the waters.
Got a little meat canyon on us there for a minute.
Take that as a compliment.
Definitely it is. The switch between like, oh, my little song, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm
Oh, my love still screams. Oh.
going to immediately fucking leave. Immediate.
Okay. So you go to open up the door, and there's a moment of panic before you finally pull it open, and there stands before you Lucio and the Owlin that was sort of waiting for you. And she
Hey,
goes,
Jin.
didn't wanna go through with it, did you?
Nah, he just
No.
finished it quicker. He's built different.
He
No,
was only
no.
in there for a moment. It couldn't possibly have done anything. Usually it takes people around 40 minutes to do their meditation.
I'm
But
sure he got what he needed.
if you're not
from it.
ready, you're not ready.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
time.
Yeah, it's just meditation. You're right. Everything's right. Right.
Look at him. He's shaking from enlightenment.
He's so happy.
Okay, so from there, we'll give Jin and Lucio, especially Jin, a moment to reset. Helmerick, let's go back to you.
Hell yeah.
As you're finishing up with your exposure to the statue, and you look up and you finally notice that there is along with the collecting of materials around it and the what seems to be a positive reinforcement physically that you can see, there's a feeling of satisfaction. And not to tell you how your character takes this in, but there is a pushed to you, whether you accept it or not is up to you, but there's a push towards you sense of a security and pride that was very important for you to do, and satisfaction from that statue. You can continue on the trail if that's what you choose.
I think Helmerick kind of realizing what I think it was less like, oh, he's going to choose to talk about this, but like the moment he started, he couldn't really stop. Like this is probably the first time that he's voiced any of this. He's never been in a spot or with something or anyone that he could safely voice anything that he's been through. And he kind of stops. And he stares at the at the statue. And he, I think he like grabs the horns of his helmet and kind of tugs it, and there's like a hiss, of like escaping pressure, and he takes off his helmet, and his face is covered in scars and broken bones, and it's kind of almost misshapen from the abuse that he's been through. And he stares at the statue with shockingly like soft eyes, and he just nods and goes, "I will return here. This was important, and you see me as I am." He puts the helmet back on, he twists it, and there's like a suction as it repressurizes, and he goes back on the trail.
As you turn to leave, you hear the wind sort of come in and goes, "Wait."
He stops and he looks back.
You hear another gust of wind coming through, weaving through statues and towering, impossibly thin structures of obsidian. Leave your echo, Mark.
Um, hmm. Trying to think of how he would leave something that he was here.
Oil bash.
I think he would rummage through his bag, and if you're okay with it, I'm sure he's taken trophies from various big demons he's killed.
Sure. Absolutely.
I think he may find something that would make sense for him.
Yeah, he's pulling out the full demon list.
That's literally what I'm doing. This sounds like a demon. Oh.
This sounds like a demon. It is a demon.
Lizard demon?
Oh, okay, it's what it is. It was, but yes, but no. I think he takes out like this like inky black horn, and it's the horn from like a shadow demon, and he kind of like goes to like a softer part in the ground, and he just jams the base of it into it.
Okay. As you jam the base into it, you watch as veins of magma from the surrounding area shift direction and start to direct themselves up to where the base of your trophy is. And the moment that it surrounds it, cools and permanently anchors itself where you lay it.
I think Helmut kind of gives like a salute, like a fist to the chest, and then almost like he's like parting with like a friend, and leaves.
Okay. And as you follow a winding trail past roped wards and flickering warning glyphs, you feel the air is getting even more oppressing. It's at its hottest. It's loud. It's almost responsive to you being here. You're walking on stone, and the landscape begins to shift from paved stone to scorched earth. You are walking on dried, cracked, divided desert. There's poetry in every shallow collapse under your boots. You see a post that reads Furry Gale. It says campus access forbidden without faculty escort. Students enter at their own risk. Do you, Homer, proceed?
Is there like another path?
You'd have to go back.
Then Helmrich keeps going.
Okay. Beyond the sign, you see the extreme of this landscape that you took in when you first arrived. You see jagged shards of ice flying through the air and clash with sudden gouts of fire. You hear whirlwinds scream across impossibly thin spires of obsidian that you saw in the background behind the statue. You see half-finished and abandoned elemental constructs that stumble around aimlessly and without purpose. And they see you and let out this almost paranoid primal hiss and vanish into arcs of raw mana. You see in the distance something catching your eye. Your decades of intense battle training allows you to catch even the slightest of movement at distances most can't even focus on. You see what appears to be a small orb, flickering red and gold light. And it darts out erratically between stone outcroppings. And at first, it may just be another story left here to die, but that's only until you hear a voice call out. Not physical, but in your mind. You smell like control, like chains, like you've been told all the fives, all that you are, puppet. Show me who you really are, truly.
And Helmrich begins to dance. But no.
I should dance!
I think Helmrich, stops as if that's not really a thought that's occurred to him. Or I guess it has, but nothing he's really like put deep thought on, because that's probably something that would have garnered a beating, a pretty severe one. And he almost winces at the thought. How far away is the orb?
From your distance, probably about 60 feet.
Okay. Helmrich starts to walk towards it.
Okay. It stands firm. So we'll say you're about 30 feet away from it.
Okay.
Kick its ass!
Helmrich's gonna do a perception check to see if there's anything dangerous around this.
Sure.
Because I think Helmrich... Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, no. That was a 14. Oh, thank God. I thought that was a 4. I was like, oh, well.
So you look around, same kind of
15.
scenario as the statue, that there are people a good distance away from me that are now looking at the statue that you had left your trophy next to. Some sort of looking at it as possibly that it's the first time that they've seen it, meaning they've been aware of the area. You catch that. And then in front of you, there's a good distance from the group in front of you. So again, there's this... You see people around you in the near area, but nothing close enough that you couldn't give yourself moments of yourself. Looking around, and you're very good about seeing the tops of heads, the curving of bows around, shadowed surfaces like rocks and secluded areas, bushes, things like that. Your primal training and not paranoia, but focus on looking for any vantage point against you possibly is assessed. And for the moment, it seems that you're really sharing this moment with this orb, that there's no threat currently.
Okay.
Onto the orb.
What if I am nothing besides a puppet? A chained hound?
The orb dulls for a moment and then energizes, almost like excitement.
Does it do anything else?
Not yet.
He walks to it, kind of keeping a hand on his flail. He stares down at it.
I will
And,
say you're 15 feet from it.
all right. He's do you wish for prowess? Or are you like the statue? Do you wish for stories?
I wish for self-reflection.
Kind of stops and stares again. And he's like, this was never allotted. I've never had time to see myself. This school, this place of non-combatants, of the living, of those who have yet to make fools of themselves. It is strange, but enticing. I see. He kind of looks as if he's grasping for the word. Friends, maybe.
Do you know why devils are so powerful? Structure. Organization. It's what's toppled every civilization from the dawn of time. It's what even makes the angels run for want. I want you to be better. You've got the strength. I want you to be able to not just physically dominate, mentally, to make others seem like it's aimless flails, but to you, calculated, cold, predetermined. Show me who you are. Are you just a puppet?
He kind of stops and almost hesitantly. No. I am. He realizes he's kind of hunching over, almost scared, and straightens his back. Because I am Helmrich of the 7th, and I bear my shame. But I am no one's dog and no one's pet. I will escape this yoke.
It seems satisfied and moves out of your path to continue
Kind
forward.
of almost seems shocked that he had voiced that and shakes it off, but kind of walks with a newfound confidence as if he's realizing kind of the pace of this place.
Okay. Do you continue forward?
Yeah.
Okay. As you keep moving, the sun at this point has long dipped beyond the molten horizon of Thram's biome, casting sharp cliffs and lava-lit skies into molten twilight. The rivers of molten and the arcane energies are sort of isolated and are cracking with this electricity even more pronounced, not competing against the sunlight. And as students begin to filter in from their tours and explorations, you feel this warm echoing bell as it tomes twice from within deep the stone. You watch as hundreds of students make their way to a massive hallway, following the sort of waft of heat and spices. You see a vast cavern, half naturally formed and the other half magically reinforced, with pillars of basalt and iron rising like sort of fangs toward a ceiling that's veined with glowing magma. You see a massive waterfall. Looks like a waterfall, but it's lava. A lava fall that spills into a basin at the back wall where several fire elementals are sort of hovering lazily as they kind of drift around that area, soaking up the heat. You see dozens of stone tables that are carved directly from the floor, each pulsing faintly with heat. And on the tables, you see food directly sizzling. You see cracked bone stew in black iron cauldrons. You see smoked salamander tail on iron grates above open flame. You see steaming magma bread with handfuls ripped already out of the sides of each loaf. You see ash spiced root vegetables with some kind of sweet sour glaze. You see clay mugs filled with slag bite. You see red dragonborn in a red chef coat, sort of sweaty, covered in soot, oil burns through the scales, holding what seems to be a large metal dish with some kind of roasted scorpion tail coated in volcanic pepper glaze. And he sees you entering and walks right up to you with a smile, with a hint of irritation. You see this Dragonborn go, "You look like you don't mind either. Try looking at these wet suits. Try to make them a new dish that I made. Can't get them to bite. Can't take one. Take one of these. Tell me what you think."
These are like the scorpions?
Yes.
Helmrich doesn't fucking hesitate. I like to think he's got like a lower mouth part that he kind of removes to be able to eat with his helmet.
Okay.
And he immediately just starts shoveling food, kind of disregarding taste. Like this is just like nourishment.
Okay. So immediately you're going to get hit with a sort of crunchy outer shell that's sort of crisp, like pork crackling, but it's juicy. And then there's this pepper glaze that immediately kicks in. It's sort of citrus forward. Your tongue numbs. Think like ghost pepper, right? But layered with like hints of paprika and zest, with kind of an almond honey. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I wish I was fighting somebody.
You currently are. What?
I have an ability where for each person I'm in combat with, I get a +1 to my saving throw.
Oh, this would not apply.
No, we're not.
What about all the food he ate? +1 for all the food.
Okay, I'll take
Guidance,
that.
with guidance, of course.
With guidance, of course. That's a 16.
What if I come up and I attack
That's
him?
exactly the number that you needed. Okay, so you feel the sweat start to accumulate. You feel the mouth burning, but it doesn't hit you. It doesn't hit you. you still taste all of those flavors, the complexity of that dish, and the chef sort of looks at you with not immediately like, oh, this is a dare. You're taking in this dish that he made. And he goes, yeah, it's hot as hell. What are you tasting?
I taste more than taste. By the 9 hells, this is good. Not even Zariel could have such a feast at her table. He goes, but I taste the crunch almost like the skin of the hell chicken that's been cooked in oil. There's the taste of this, you would say, sweetness about it. Of course, the heat and the spices and the paprika, this is good. Not for the faint of heart, but I am no milkling. This is good.
And every word that you say is wrung out of all of its juices as he just takes this and it just like absorbs it and sort of slaps you on the upper bicep and looks around and is like, see, I appreciate you. Let me know if you'd like more. My name is Chef Durant. Thank you so much for doing that for me.
Gives him like almost like a warrior's handshake and goes, this would best some devils that I have been with. Believe it or not, most devils take their food light and floral even. But this is a warrior's feast, something you can appreciate. Please. He kind of offers his hand. I will take more.
Happily gives you more. He'd rather give those to you that somebody enjoys it and gets what he's trying to do than somebody look at it as like a dare and like elbowing friends and being like, you try it, you know? He is happy to give them to you and sort of gestures down at the table for you to sort of partake in the rest that surround you.
Yeah, definitely sits down. Is still just shoveling food, but with, I guess, Durant's food, there's a lot more, like, actually takes it in. It's less of, this is just food to eat, and more like, this is something that he genuinely likes. And you can tell there's, like, it's like something he's not used to. You know, he's used to eating gruel and rations.
Sure. All right. Helmrich, enjoy your meal. Zalzin and Godfried, you're enjoying yours. Jen?
We went into it a little bit, yeah. Or no, yeah, we went to that. I'm not enjoying a meal. I gave it away.
Right,
Yeah,
that
you
is true. Jen, Lucio,
Yeah.
as you make your way through the dining hall of an Aesequel, in the far from quiet, not ever are these halls quiet. You see long arched windows welcoming moonlight to sort of rest on the tables that hold stacks of silver dishes and shimmering goblets. You see animated quills sort of scuttling around like beetles, taking notes on everything from conversation to recipes that are being talked to from family members that might possibly welcome themselves into dishes later on through the year. The air holds itself as if laughter never wants to leave. You see a banner that holds itself magically above the room that reads, "If you're not heard, you're not here." And on the tables, you will find ink black noodles with glowing saffron broth. You'll find rose petal honey cakes, glazes of illusionary wine that, as people are holding clear glasses, seem to shift in sort of flavor, tone, and viscosity depending on the company that they hold. You'll see roasted goose paired with pistachio crust fish and assortments of caviar. And as you walk in, Lucio, you start noticing with your slightly higher passive perception. People whispering. There's eyes in your direction. Smiles of satisfaction that you deduce from the encounter with Soren. People are talking about Soren being inked, the killer ending to that epic battle that you displayed. And as your eyes start to trace around the room, you see the very man himself sitting with the familiar group a few tables back, staring at you.
Is it like a good stare or like an angry stare?
Definitely an angry stare.
Kick his ass again.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of nudge.
Kick him while he's down.
I'm gonna nudge Jin. Be like, hey, you feeling going back over there, talking to him again? Maybe we can make some kind of amendments with him.
Why would we want to make it, man?
Oh, the guy over there bad dogging us. The dude that
No.
got me-
I know who you're talking about, but why?
I don't know. He seems like he needs friends. He's like kind of projecting for some reason.
I mean, I'll come with. Yeah, I'll come with.
All right, I'm gonna walk up to him, and I'm gonna like go up to. I'm gonna offer my hand out to shake his hand, see if he'll take it.
But what time do you plan on going to sleep?
Who's going to sleep?
That's my wife.
Oh.
She just woke up.
So as you extend your hand, you're not surprised that there's not a match to that, but they're waiting.
You know, man, some people are saying that if your strings hadn't have broke, you probably would have won that battle, but who knows? Still a pretty cool song, though. I mean, not as good as ours, but, like, pretty good.
Make a persuasion check.
That was not amazing. 15.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if my strings wouldn't have broken and I didn't get sabotaged by our own mascot. I had him.
Well, I feel like the mascot
But
after the fact.
You did good out there.
And I mean,
And
like,
you had help, but you did good out there.
you did a good job sizing up, and then, you know, like, you picked the biggest threat. Like, we were, you know, the best people to challenge. So good job there too. I give him like a little pat on his shoulder. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time, champ.
What if next time we work together? I'm Soren. And if your hand is still extended, he'll match it.
Yeah, Lucio will take his hand. He'll introduce himself as Square, though.
Square. Interesting.
Yeah, you know.
And
it's
you
bold.
looks over at Jen.
Oh, Jai.
Jai. Jai squared.
Yep.
Some call it Square Jai, other Jai Square. We're like the new hot thing.
I see. Well, I look forward to seeing what more you have.
Our new album.
You have the attention of
You
people.
soon.
See if you keep it.
Oh, we will.
Well, enjoy the food.
Oh yeah.
I'll be here if you need
Okay.
anything. And he sits back down.
Hey, Lucio. Do you want this food? I'm not fucking hungry right now.
Yeah, we walk away and go get food.
Okay.
As we're like just like he can still hear us, but we're like almost out of earshot. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what I would have needed from him, but it's nice that he offered.
Okay.
He's just leading him on.
My goodness.
So,
man.
you all partake in different themed campus dinners. Let's go back to Zalzin and Godfrey.
Right now,
Dinner
Zal's
has
busting a move. No, I'm checking.
You're busting a move.
Yeah, on the tables.
Oh my god.
He's
Doing
doing
the
the
worm.
That's our
robot.
thing. That's what.
He's
That's
doing the
what's
robot
going
and the
on in our
worm.
area.
Dinner is completed, and students at this time are sort of dispersing through their respective chambers. And you both realize that at the very end of the snarl, when papers magically appeared in the air and drifted down for your class schedules and things like that, one of the details was that Zalzin, Sir Godfrey, you're both roommates. You have room 17B. And taking direction from some of the students, you walk through quiet stone hallways lit by floating soul lanterns. And there's a faint mineral scent and almost like a quiet hum of a female's voice seeping through the stone cracks. And as you find polished brass plates that line the hallways notating the room numbers, you find your room number, 17B.
Cool. We've got a room.
Yes. Seems we do. Would you like to do the honors of opening it?
Yeah, why not? Godfrey's gonna reach to open the door.
Steps back away, 20 feet away, fireball range.
As you open the door, can you make a... No, I'm just kidding.
I knew it!
You go to open the door, and as you are turning the handle and pushing it forward, about 15 feet to your right, down the hallway, you hear, well, this is awkward. And you see that it's Rella, the Shatterkai woman that you talked to during dinner.
Oh, it's Rella. Looks like we'll be in close acquaintances.
17B, same room.
Interesting.
So,
Well, I
inside,
have no need for a bed.
well, be that as it may, inside is a you see a surprisingly spacious chamber carved in black limestone. You see 3 twin-sized beds flanking a tall window that overlooks the glowing chasm of Pillar Drop. You see that there's a single shelf of floating crystal orb that pulses gently. And as you all are standing there, Rella sort of moves into the room, picks the furthest to the right bed, and starts unpacking. You see maps and runes and setting up some kind of portable table. You see scrolls and compasses and writing instruments, all sorts of nature.
Godfrey's gonna go to Rilla and ask her a question. Rilla, what's up with you? What brings you to this place?
This is the best place to find secrets.
You're just inquisitive, that's all?
I'm looking for something, but there's also a couple other things in my mind, and I feel like if I have the skills that Salt has to offer, I could find all of them.
I understand.
So, maps it is.
What are you looking for?
I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet.
You're not gonna plaster maps all around the room, are you?
No, I want to keep those secret.
By all means, you can plaster them around the wall if you want to. I do not mind.
I do mind. Alright, well then I guess I'll choose my bed. Then I'll
Can you
choose
take
the one
20 points of damage?
furthest away from Rella.
Okay, so against the left side wall, and then Zalzin.
I choose
You
the middle
are-
of the room.
It's not the middle of the room. It's closest to Sir Godfrey, but on the left side of the room.
I would like to be the closest to the door.
It would be the closest to the door. So
Okay, good.
You,
Yeah. So he's just gonna be
alright.
like right in front of the door is where he's going to enter Sentry's rest whenever he needs to rest. So that
Fair
way,
enough.
the first thing that people see if they ever tried to open the door is an 8-foot tall fucking machine man.
I also thought this was so you could sneak out easy.
Take a what?
I thought it was so you could sneak out easy.
Yeah, that would be easier. Clank, clank, clank. They don't know.
So you all unpack, have conversation.
Cast Unseen Servant to organize things in the room.
Okay, organize an empty room.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough. All right, Helmrich,
Great.
let's go to you.
Yes.
As dinner concludes with you, and you exit out of the chow hall, the spiral staircase that sort of swirls upward, you feel the heat rising with each step until the corridor opens to a landing with polished black doors. You see plaques framed near each door that have names, and down the hall scanning, you recognize a few letters in sequence that read Helmrich of the Seventh, carved into a plaque that seems to pulse with this heat, almost like a rise and fall of a chest, room 317. And as you get to that door, do you open it?
Yeah.
Okay. You open the door and you are greeted by the low hiss of steam from vents beneath the obsidian tile. From what you see immediately, the room is angular. It's part dorm, part forge, part canvas. One wall is a massive iron panel that is scorched with elemental blasts from what you would guess would be previous students. Another wall holds a living mural that shifts and reacts to the door opening. You see your bed frame is hammered bronze with a thin mattress. Sparks of ambient magic sort of drift lazily across the ceiling like fireflies. And behind you, footsteps, which, again, No one can sneak up on Helmrich. You quickly size up. Is a fire genasi. Sort of ash gray skin with ember red hair and wild braids, smelling of burnt cedar with these wildly deep and moist eyes that are molten orange with specks of black that sort of gets in between the door frame and you and sort of pushes in past you, holding a large box of what you quickly glance to be just an assortment of metal rods. And she sort of goes to the right of the room and to a similar bed that you had first saw. And it seems like there have already been boxes and chests put there at that bed. And she starts to unpack the boxes, arranging the rods on her bed without really turning around. And she says, I didn't want a roommate, Helmrich, and I'm sure you didn't either, but it seems we're stuck with each other. Now, you seem like the mindless fighter type, so I'll make this simple. This is my space too. Realize that, okay? I'm someone who likes their privacy. I like to study. I like to create. I'm here to build. I'm not here to party and thrash or drone out. I hope that we have an understanding about each other and that you won't make this a problem by respecting it. In fact, the less that you're here, the better. Please don't touch any of my things or have anyone else in this room. Are we going to be friendly? And you see beside her the mural that had reacted to you opening up the door changes shapes again. You see in this mural what was a sort of calming forest bed with squirrels leaping from tree to tree, sort of absent, like nobody had ever been there, shifts into a man with a just bland background, bald with skin-tight torn leathers. And the man is facing away from you, arms folded across the chest, sort of looking over the shoulders just to meet your gaze. And there's this look of disgust on their face before the man melts away into a pool of wind that floats and is forgotten. The landscape that the man was in was barren and dismissive, much so like the mood of this room.
Okay. Helmut kind of, as if he's doing his best to keep calm and collected, closes the door behind him and goes, For one who has not tasted sulfur and blood in their tongues and throats, you talk highly and loud, but I will pass this. If you are to speak to me as a stranger, you will know me by my name, Helmrich of the Seventh. You will do well to remember this. I carry few possessions, the helmet of a dead man, and some austere trophies. I carry my world on my back, and I do not party. I drink to forget, and I drink to relax. I will hold my only area in my bed, but you are not to touch my things either, and I will not touch yours. Possessions are sacred in the Nine Hells, and I will respect yours. He goes in and he places a helmet that has this massive imprint of a flail in it, and he places it next to his bedside. He places a few like claws or hands or horns from various like bigger demons. And he sits on his bed and goes, I would know the name of those I live with. What is yours?
She turns around. Before that, sets things down aggressively. and sort of resets her body and turns around and she goes, "You don't listen. I said Helmeric of the Seventh. Your name is on the plate outside. I know your name. And it also seems like we have an understanding. I won't touch your things. I hope this is beneficial for both of us." And she sits down on the bed and meets your gaze.
Did you say Helmeric of the Seventh? Because I thought you just said Helmeric.
Well, I think he's just repeating what you said.
Oh, I thought you had just said Helmeric. That's why he said that. Okay.
She didn't say of the seventh. She just said Helmeric. If you were trying to say the full title, she didn't say that. You were correcting her correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
He kind of stares at her for a minute, and again, kind of takes a deep breath and breathes out. We have an understanding. And he kind of looks at her things. I have not met your kind before. I have not met many of the mortal races. None. The unfortunate tiefling, humans mostly, orcs, those who have bargained and failed. Not many from the elemental planes come to my homeland. And not many by choice. What are you?
What do you mean? What am I?
I know you are not human. You are not tiefling, or orc, or elf. You are not a common sight. Where are you from?
I'm a fire genasi.
I don't know why I wrote air genasi. I'm going to correct that. What is your name?
Blexa. Blexa voice mandel.
He nods, and he kind of looks at her rods. May I ask about your positions?
I'm an artist.
What is that?
I build things that represent bigger things.
Like bricks?
Statues, mostly.
Of what?
Right now, I'm obsessed with draconic bloodline. So statues,
Oh, go ahead.
statues for them.
He nods. I have fought with dragons. They are lent by Tiamat. Bargains. Father has gotten many to fight for us. Mighty, strong, and ferocious. Truly a terror. But he kind of pauses. They have their own rhythm.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Oh, baby. Oh, that was good. That is a 22.
She reaches over and she opens up one of the chests. And she rummages through and she finds what seems to be a collection of brittle stones. And she compresses them in her hand. And you watch as the hands twist in sort of a unhuman way. Her being able to be more flexible than most. And in the sort of palms of her hand sort of blows in, and you watch as she unfurls her hands, a small dragon form appears and flutters out of her hands and flies over in your direction and lands on your shoulder.
And he kind of looks at it and he goes, "You know of magics?"
Whatever I can utilize to accomplish my goals, as I'm sure you're the same.
If you are to build, I am an artist of the battlefield, of annihilation. I am referred to as the ram, the hammer, the hound. And he kind of says that last part with almost like trepidation. So yes, I utilize many things.
Maybe I came off. I'm sorry. I'm
You
aware that I'm fiercely competitive and short-sighted on my own goals. I tend to push people away that get in my way, that distract me. But I do find myself drawn to structure and discipline because it's so different from my craft.
He kind of stops and he goes, "The hills are structure in discipline. But I was never taught to think the opposite." He looks at her. Maybe there are things that we can learn from each other. Maybe this is less as territories and more of diplomacy. He kind of stands up and he extends like a massive hand. "You may call me Helmich."
And she stands up and introduces herself. "I'm Blexia." And there's a dramatic shift in tone towards you.
He nods.
As her head sort of faces downward, but her eyes are looking at you.
He nods, completely missing anything that's happening. Just oblivious to the tone in here.
And as you all continue talking, let's go back to Jin and Lucio.
I'm dying.
Jin, Lucio, as dinner winds up and the crowd filters out of the dining hall into the quiet marble corridors of Anastaquil, the massively large dormitory tower. Lucio, you notice that you are in room IN-2-11. And Jin, you are in room IN-2-17. You climb a spiral staircase, and each step is engraved with quotations that sort of whisper as you step on them. And eventually you'll make your way towards a tall oak door that is inlaid with ink-stained glass. And Lucio, you have arrived at your dorm room.
I'm gonna go ahead and enter.
Okay.
Cool.
The door creaks open, and it reveals your new quarters. You see inside, first, a figure sprawled dramatically across one of the beds, seemingly reading from a crumpled up parchment. You see that they're a taller half elf with short, messy black hair that's sort of streaked with like random painted spots of silver that is clearly, obviously, poorly dyed from the silver that's still on the forehead. And as they set up, you see the inked stains on their hands and the smudges on their face. And they sort of come to attention and they go, who's Lucio?
Oh hey, that would be me. I would be Lucio. And you are?
That's where we should end tonight's session.